Right, and we are live. I think we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me, or good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. The chat's working, it's in the right place, and welcome to the final part of Paul rates his entire collection. Now, just a few things before we start. First of all, thank you very much, James, for letting me know that everything's working. For those people who haven't seen part one and part two, I think most of you in the chat have seen parts one and part two, but if you haven't, this is the final part where I am using the Pub Meeple system to rank my entire collection of games. Now, I say my entire collection of games. There's the first lie straight away, because I have removed all of the games in my collection that I haven't played. I've also removed some duplicates. So, for example, I haven't got the 3 Great Western Trail games in here. There's only one of them. I haven't got all of the Exit games in here. I've got one of them. And also, there's some missing. So, unfortunately, I found out whilst doing this that there's a couple of games which I have in my collection and I've played, which I haven't actually added into my collection on Board Game Geek. Therefore, the Pub Meeple system did not bring them through, and unfortunately, they've been missed out. Other than that, we're gonna kick off now. Another thing, just before we start, obviously, this isn't a sponsored video, and all advertising revenue from this video goes to charity. These videos are only made possible thanks to the support of my Patreon campaign. And in fact, doing these videos was a goal of the Patreon campaign. When I got to 800 Patreon supporters, I would do these videos. I had no idea that it would be probably about 12 hours, maybe 13, by the time we're finished. But I'm very glad that I've done them, and a lot of people have been watching, and a lot of people have been enjoying it. So they've been actually really fun to do. A lot more fun than I thought they would. And yeah, thank you very much to everybody for watching and engaging with me. Right, we're going to go in. So, I don't think there was anything else to mention before we started. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat too much because I'm going to try and spend most of my brain power on doing the voting. So, you know, feel free to use the chat, talk amongst yourselves, make your own votes as to what you think I should vote for or what you would vote for. But yeah, I'm going to try and concentrate mainly on this. So as you can see, we've saved the progress, 620 items, although some of those have been removed. We are 61% of the way through. Is it working? I think it is working. There was one more thing that I wanted to mention just before we start. I'm just about recovering. I got ill last week, and I've now got a bit of a cough, so I'm still feeling really run down. I've had a terrible night's sleep, and apologies if I start flaking. I've got some drinks, I've got some food. We'll see how we get on. Cancelling this and going back to bed would have been the sensible thing to do. Whenever have I been sensible? Right, off we go then. Well, this is a tough choice. Yeah, both games that I love. It's going to have to go to Through the Ages. I do love Underwater Cities, but it's going to go to Through the Ages. Why is my keyboard not working? There. Pillars of the Earth or Underwater Cities? That's a very good question, actually. For me, again, these are both very, very good games. And I talked about Pillars of the Earth in part 2, and I talked about my house rules. And I have updated my house rule geek list. If anybody's interested in that, head on over to the guild. Guild number 2258 on Board Game Geek. And you can see there that you'll find it. There's a link to my geek list where I talk about house rules. Pillars of the Earth or Underwater Cities. I'm actually going to go with Underwater Cities for this one for a couple of reasons, which I haven't got time to explain. Newton or Pillars of the Earth. I love Newton. One of the most themeless, driest Euros there is. And literally, you could just remove the theme, remove the artwork, and it'd still be a great game. I'm tempted to go Newton. No, I'm going to go Pillars of the Earth with this one. Golden Ages or Newton? Golden Ages I've talked about in part 1 and 2. Really good Civ game, but I'm going to go Newton. Star Wars Destiny or Golden Ages? Which one would I prefer to play? I mean, I love Star Wars Destiny. I think I'm going to go Star Wars Destiny with this one. Taj Mahal or Golden Ages is going to be Taj Mahal. This one's going to be First Class. Now, Come Together I've only played once, so this is a little unfair. Although Golden Ages, I haven't played in a long time. There's going to be a lot of coughing today. I'll try and keep it down a bit. Right, Golden Ages or Come Together? Again, I've only played Come Together once, but what I saw of it, I thought was really good. So we're going to go with Come Together over Golden Ages. Magnificent or Golden Ages. This time I'm actually going to go with Golden Ages, as much as I like the Magnificent. And this one I'm going to go Forum Trajanum. This one I'm going to go La Havre. Oh, I do like Tekhenu. It is a bit heavier than I am comfortable with. Yeah, I'm going to go Tekhenu with this one. Now, it's always going to be tricky when So Clover and Just One come out, because I love those games. And I recently I replied to a post on a Facebook group that I'm a member of this week, and it said, what is the game that you're going to play the most in 2023? And I said So Clover, because realistically, that is the game that I am going to play the most this year. Doesn't mean it's my favourite game of all time, but it is the game that's probably going to get played the most. Out of these two, I'm going to have to give it to So Clover. Out of these two, see, the Magnificent with expansion. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to go Magnificent this time. Again, oh, here we go. Codenames, pictures, or codename. This is actually a really easy one. I much prefer pictures. Codenames or In the Shadow of the Emperor. We talked about Shadow of the Emperor on the Slack group, didn't we? There is a website where you can play it. So that's been added to my list of things to do. Out of the two, I'd probably prefer to play In the Shadow of the Emperor. Why is my keyboard making a clicking noise every time I press it? It's not sitting flat. Don't know why. That's going to really annoy me. Let's get... There you go. Origins, First Builders, or Codenames? I think we're going to go Origins. Rialto or Codenames? I think we're going to go Rialto. I like Rialto. Tainted Grail or Codenames? Again, Tainted Grail. Game didn't work so well, but the narrative was fantastic. Which of those two games have I enjoyed them? I've enjoyed Tainted Grail more than I've enjoyed Codenames. Championship Formula Racing or Codenames? Will go Championship Formula Racing. Codenames is getting a beating here. Codenames or Galaxy Trucker? I'm actually going to go Galaxy Trucker. Sid Meier's Civilization or Codenames? My style of game, I love Civ games, so we're going to go with that one. Mage Wars Academy or Codenames is going to be Mage Wars Academy. Sierra West or Codenames, I'm going to go with Codenames this time. Right, Sidereal Confluence or Sierra West? It's going to be Sidereal Confluence. Sierra West or Pathfinder Adventure Card Game? Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. Honshu or Sierra West? Honshu. Cerebria or Sierra West? Now, Cerebria, as I've probably mentioned in part 1 and part 2, is an amazing game that suffers from being too complex and too much of a learning curve, and I think Mind Clash went too far with Cerebria. Let me know if you agree in the chat. It is very good, but I don't think it was a success, and I think that's because it was just too much. If they'd have produced Cerebria with the same theme, but 2/3 of the complexity, I think it would have done a lot better. I'm still going to go Cerebria with this one, though, over Sierra West. I liked Sierra West, but I think I preferred Cerebria. Warhammer Quest, this one. Communai or Sierra West? Communai is actually really good. I'm going to go with Communai. Communai or Communi? Probably Communai. Cubitos or Sierra West? I like Cubitos, but not as much as everybody else. So I'm going to go Sierra West with this one. Race for the Galaxy or Cubitos? That's going to be Race for the Galaxy. Clans of Caledonia or Cubitos? Probably Clans. That's probably La Isla. This one is probably Caelus Magna Carta, which I've not played in a long time, but it's really good. This one's Oracle of Delphi. Pipeline or Cubitos? Now, I've talked about Pipeline before. I just don't get on with it. So, Cubitos. Caven. Weather Machine or Pipeline? I'm going Weather Machine. For Sale or Terama? Definitely. Really good game. Throne of Allegoria or Pipeline? Yeah, Throne of Allegoria. World Without End or Pipeline? Yep. War of the Ring, the card game? Yep. Olympos or Pipeline? I've not played Olympos in so long. So long. I remember it being really good. And to be honest, as I say, I tried Pipeline. I tried it 6, 7, 8 times, and it is a very good game. It just doesn't sit well with me. We're going Escape Tales. But see, I quite liked Futuropia. All the things that people said about Futuropia as criticisms and how boring it was, I quite liked that. So we'll go with Futuropia. This one, though, I'm going to go Splendor. This one, I'm probably going to go Pipeline. Oh, two really old games here. I've got both of these games. I've had them both for over 20 years. Probably 22 years I've had both of these games. Which one? We're going to go San Marco. It's more of a Euro game. Star Trek Expeditions or Quo Vadis? I'd probably prefer to play Star Trek Expeditions. Out of these two, King is Dead or Quo Vadis? Probably the King is Dead. Out of these two, probably Catan card game. Probably Phantom. Out of these two, probably Metropolis. Suspects I need to give another go. So I'm going to say Suspects for now, but I need to play it more. Out of these two, though, probably Quo Vadis. These two, Dimaka, Lords of Hellas, High Treason. Need to play that again. Factory Fun, yeah. Swatch or Conan. I'd probably prefer to play Conan. Once you get over the rules and once I've painted all of the 300 miniatures. Swatch or Twilight Imperium. This is very difficult because Swatch is like a 20-minute game that's really simple, collecting colours and making things. I'm going to go Twilight Imperium with this one. But I would prefer to play Swatch than Unfucht und Adel, which for those people who haven't seen part 1 and 2, that's Citadels. Quarriors also, with the variant rules. This one, however, is going to be Unfucht und Adel. This one... yeah. Neither of them, to be honest, but I'm going to go Detective. Cryptid, even though I can't play it. Scepter von Zavendor, which is good. It's just long. But anything other than Zombie Dice. So, yeah. Rainbow Rage or Zombie Dice. Now, Rainbow Rage is a silly, really silly party game. Very disappointed that I put it in the library at GridCon and nobody borrowed it. It is just silly fun that takes about 5 or 10 minutes. But... it's at least got a bit more going for it than Zombie Dice. So, Rainbow Rage. Right, the really, really old game War of the Ring that I played when I was like 14, which does not work at all and is massively complicated, or Zombie Dice. Well, War of the Ring. Dragon Strike or Zombie Dice is going to be... oh, now actually, Dragon Strike is pretty awful. And I've not played Dragon Strike in 30 years. So, we're going to Zombie Dice for this one. Shea Geek or Dragon Strike? Shea Geek is not a game. Yeah, these are just bottom of the thing. All of these games could go from my collection and I would probably sleep better at night. We're going to go Dragon Strike. Right, back to the top. Excellent. Gentis or A Feast for Odin. I love both of these games. Both of these games are likely, well, definitely in my top 50. Feast for Odin is probably in my top 10. Gentis might be in my top 10. I really like it. If it's not my top 10, probably top 20. We're going to go Feast for Odin. With a variant rule for the occupations. Gentis or Caverna. I've not played Gentis in a while. It's so good. But I love Caverna. And I've been playing a lot of Caverna recently on Board Game Arena. A big thank you to all of my patron supporters who play games with me online. Because Caverna is one of the games that I've been playing a lot of recently. So, Caverna. Carnegie over Gentis. Excuse me. I'm going Carnegie. Just. Lost Ruins of Arnak over Gentis. Now then. I know most people are probably going to say Lost Ruins of Arnak. And I am tempted to go Lost Ruins of Arnak. But actually, I'm going to go Gentis. With this one. Yeah. Attica or Lost Ruins of Arnak. I've talked about Attica before. Did anybody find the online website where we can play Attica? If somebody wouldn't mind looking that up, because we can definitely get a game of that going on the online gaming channel. I used to play it on Brettspiel Welt years ago. I don't know if Brettspiel Welt is still going. That's where I used to play it. 99% of people would pick Arnak. And I think I'm going to. As much as I love Attica, I'm going to pick Arnak for this one. But this one, Attica or Coimbra? I'm going to go Coimbra. This one I'm going to go Amon-Ra. But I'm feeling really bad here. This one I'm going to go Madeira. Because Attica is very, very good. Attica or Merlin, I'm going to go Attica. Bitoku or Merlin is going to be Bitoku. Luna or Merlin is going to be Luna. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, the whole series, 35 years worth, or 40 years worth. Yeah, wow. Of Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective or Merlin. It's going to be Sherlock Holmes. Under Falling Skies or Merlin. Under Falling Skies is my #1 solo game of all time. I absolutely love it. I think it is an amazing game, and I'm going to go with that over Merlin. That is Traders of Genoa, but it's been renamed to Genoa. It is a very, very solid game, but needs a house rule for the ownership markers because they're way overpowered. But I'm going to pick it. Endless Winter or Merlin. Interesting. I'm actually going to go against the grain with this one. Endless Winter is out recently. Lots of hype about it at the moment because it's super big, super popular. New publisher. Out of the two, having played Endless Winter a lot and having played Merlin quite a lot, I'm actually leaning towards Merlin. Tapestry or Endless Winter? I have a soft spot for Tapestry. I love Tapestry, and I do think it's a Civ game. I'm actually going to go Tapestry over Endless Winter. Hamburgum over Endless Winter. Now, I've not played Hamburgum in a long time, and if we were to judge games based on their artwork alone, Hamburgum would be fairly low down the pile. I'm actually going to go Hamburgum with this one. Shocking. Navigador over Endless Winter. Okay, I'm going to go Endless Winter with this one. Right, next. War Chest or Navigador? War Chest. Merv or Navigador? See, Navigador used to be like amazing for me, but then Graham Charlton told me about a slightly broken strategy with it. And then I've seen that broken strategy be used and it works. And it kind of took the shine off the game a bit. I do like Merv. I think Merv is an excellent game. I'm actually going to go Merv with this one. Age of Industry or Navigador? Again, I've got a bit of a soft spot for Age of Industry. I think it's a solid game. It's a lighter version of Brass for those people who don't know. Which of the two? I'm going to go Age of Industry. But this one I'm going to go Navigador. This one I'm going to go Revive, which is currently set up on my table. For those of people interested, I did a solo playthrough of Revive last night. It's on the channel now. You just need to go to the YouTube channel and look in the live section because YouTube have split it now. So a lot of people recently have been going to my channel saying, Paul, I thought you did a video of such and such a thing and I can't find it on your channel. You need to go to the YouTube channel and click the live tab and all of the live videos now show there. So if you're interested in a solo playthrough of Revive, I did last night, and that gets my vote. Escape Plan or Kahuna? Very difficult to compare these. Two-player game that takes 30 minutes or another Vital Lacerda masterpiece. Which one would I prefer to play? I love Kahuna. I think it's a fantastic game, so we're going to go Kahuna. This one I'm going to go Homesteaders. This one I'm actually going to go Tindaya. This one I'm going to go Space Base. This one I'm going to go Ming Voyages. This one I'm going to go Escape Plan. Maharaja. Bruges. No, Mexico I've not played in a while, but I think Mexico's really good. We'll go Mexico. Where is Magnate gonna go? League of Six is a solid game. If anybody wants to borrow League of Six from me, who lives local, it's Vladimir Suhi's first game. It's very good. I think I'm gonna go League of Six. This one I'm gonna go Mini Rails. Mini Rails is solid. Gonna go Jorvik. I'm gonna go Pictomania. I'm gonna go Magnate. Right, where's Herbaceous going to sit? I do like Copenhagen, so that's going to get picked. Pictures is fantastic. Dominant species marine or herbaceous. Which one would I prefer to play? Probably dominant species marine. Terracotta Army or herbaceous is going to be Terracotta Army. Power Grid Factory Manager or herbaceous is going to be herbaceous. Augsburg 1520. Not played it in a very, very long time. Can't even remember the game. But I think it's better than Factory Manager. This one, however, again, Factory Manager, a little bit like Futuropia. I actually quite enjoyed the boring bits of it, so we'll go with that one. Lost Cities or Fast Forward Fortress? I'm actually going to go Fast Forward Fortress. I've got Lost Cities. I've played it 100 times, 150 times. It's nice, but after playing it that many times, I did find it was a bit random. We're going with Fortress. Tashkalar or Lost Cities? Well, I'm going to go Tashkalar, even though I'm absolutely rubbish at it. Between Two Cities or Lost Cities? All about the cities. I'm going to go Between Two Cities. Canterbury's in the garage. I've not played it in 10 years. It's been in the garage for about 8 years. But I think I'd prefer to play that than Lost Cities. But out of these two, Mercado de Lisboa, I've just found out, is going to be on Board Game Arena. It might even be live on Board Game Arena. It's definitely worth checking out. I didn't get on with it too well. But, yeah. So, yeah, Mercado de Lisboa on Board Game Arena if you're interested. I'm actually going to pick Lost Cities. Wildlands or Mercado de Lisboa? I'm going to go with Wildlands on the caveat that you don't play the base game of Wildlands. I'm playing Wildlands with the team mode or the solo mode, not the base game of Wildlands. And if any of my Patreon supporters want me to go into a bit more detail about why I think Wildlands does not work as a game and why I think the fundamental core mechanisms are broken, start a discussion group. Maybe not today, because I'm going to be tired after this, but maybe tomorrow, and I'm more than happy go into details. So yeah, Wildlands with the team mode or the solo mode, I'm going to pick that one. Small City or Mercado de Lisboa? Small City, even though it needs fixing. Tempest, Kingdom Rush, Castle for All Seasons, underrated. Imperial, Magnum Cell, Hansa, East. But I would prefer to play Mercado de Lisboa over Descent. And Magna Graecia, not that I can remember. And Import Export. Descent was just of its time. It just took way too long. But out of these two, we're actually going to go Descent. This one, now I can't. I should have removed Flea because I haven't played Flea. I'm going to remove that one. I should have removed that before because I've not played that one. It's over there. Out of these two, we're going to go Diesel Demolition Derby. Double or Wibble? We're going to go Wibble plus because there's like 5 games in there. Welcome to Dino World. Double, I can tell you now, Double is not going to get many votes. Axis and Allies. Torres, even though I don't really like it. Mayscape, definitely. D&D Onslaught. That's Samurai Swords. Would I prefer to play that than Double? Yeah, Double is a kid's game. That shouldn't really be on my list, to be honest, but it's a game that I own. Why is Outpost on this list? I think I've got the original version of Outpost from the early 80s, and it must be in the attic somewhere, which is why it's in my collection. I don't really want to play it again, but I'd play it over Double. Assyria or Frosthaven? We've gone back to the top of the list. Chrissy says Double is the most hated game ever. It is a better version of Snap. Yeah, that is true. Assyria or Frosthaven? It's going to be Frosthaven, but Assyria is fantastic. So it's going to be Frosthaven. This is going to be Marvel Champions. Would I prefer to play Assyria or Trajan? Now, I love Trajan. Trajan used to be my number 1 Stefan Feld game. He's now my number 2 Stefan Feld game. Assyria is very, very good. I'm going to put Assyria over Trajan. Wow, that's a surprise. Imperial Steam or Trajan? Imperial Steam, my joint number 1 game of 2021. And I'm currently doing a giveaway as well to win either a copy of Bitoku or Imperial Steam. If you want to enter that contest, you need to go and watch my top 10 games of 2021 video, which is on the channel now. You can win either a copy of Bitoku or Imperial Steam. You have until the end of this month to enter that contest. Details are in the video. Please go and check it out, because that video is slightly underperforming. So have a look at that. Which one of these? I think I'm going to go Trajan. As much as I love Imperial Steam, Trajan is purer. This is ISS Vanguard for the narrative element of the game. Possibly not for the mechanisms. Mechanically, Imperial Steam. But as far as me, what's going to give me the best experience is going to be ISS Vanguard. Frostpunk or Imperial Steam? If we're talking about an experience, Frostpunk. Euthia or Imperial Steam? Now then. Based on the fact that I've just picked ISS Vanguard and Frostpunk over Imperial Steam, well, this is going to be Imperial Steam. Yeah, as much as I like Euthia, it is a bit long for what you get. Then again, so is Frostpunk. But we're going to go Imperial Steam. Rococo or Euthia? It's got to be Rococo. Yeah, Rococo is such a solid game. Aeon's End or Euthia is going to be Aeon's End. Again, I'm thinking playtime on these. Boon Lake or Euthia? Factoring in the playtime, which is more my kind of game. Both, for different reasons. Boon Lake is an absolutely solid Euro with great card cycling. Euthia is just great. I mean, I think both of these games appeared in my top 10 games of 2021, and I think I placed Euthia higher than Boon Lake. But right now, I'm thinking about it. Now, I'm going to give it to Euthia because of the variability, the massive variability in the game with the different scenarios, the solo mode, and everything else. Alibari or Boon Lake is going to be Boon Lake, although I do like Alibari. Stouffer Dynasty or Alibari? Again, Stouffer Dynasty, another one of my top 10 most underrated games, I think. Stouffer Dynasty. Letterjam or Alibari is going to be Letterjam. Lacrimosa or Alibari is going to be Lacrimosa. Heroes of Terrinoth or Alibari. As much as I like Heroes of Terrinoth, do I get a better experience from playing that game than I do when playing Alibari? Yes. Barrage or Alibari? Now, Barrage is good, but actually I'm going to go Alibari with this one. Teletum or Barrage is going to be Barrage. Magnastorm or Teletum is going to be... Oh, now I've not played Magnastorm in a while. It's a solid game. It was a big flop. It really didn't do well. But it's really good, and it's got Space Turtles in it. Space Turtles are a very underrated resource. I'm going to go Magnastorm. That was gut feeling there. Super Skill Pinball or Teletum? I do like Teletum, but Super Skill Pinball is going to win it. And again, that's not just Super Skill Pinball 4K. That's all of the Super Skill Pinball games, of which I've got 12 different ones now. Burn Cycle or Teletum? There's no denying that Burn Cycle is an absolute work of genius. But it's very heavy on the brain power. I'm going to go Burn Cycle, though, over Teletum. Yeah. Amul or Teletum? I'm going to go Teletum. Amul or Amiitis? I'm going to go Amiitis. Endeavour is going to be Amul. Yep. Viscounts of the West Kingdom beats Amul? Yes. Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition or Amul? Amul is another one that a lot of people haven't heard of. Came and went. Nobody spoke about it. And it's really good. It's a much better version of Seven Wonders. How many people in the chat have played Amul? Let me know. Or if you're watching this video back afterwards, yeah, let me know. Because we've got what? We've got about 100 people watching this live. The last video, we had about 100, 150 people watching live. The videos had 5,000 views. So I got 4,800 views after it was live, and yet very few people leave a comment. So if you are one of those people who are watching this video back afterwards, just leave me a comment. Let me know certain things like, have you heard of Amul? If you have heard of it, have you played it? And what did you think about it? I do like Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, although I think it's a really good package. It's basically Race for the Galaxy with the Terraforming Mars theme, but I think it's really well done, and it's really well produced, and it looks gorgeous, and it's enjoyable to play. Amul might be the better game, but I'm going to give this to Terraforming Mars, just because production-wise I think it did a really good job. Out of these two, though, I'm going to give this to Amul. Not played Amul, says Darkmind. Long time ago, says Dan. Oh, very good, Keith. If you've played one, you've played Amul. Love it. Love it. Peter's got it, but not played it. Okay, yeah, I mean, it plays 3 to 7, and you use different cards, a bit like Seven Wonders, depending on the number of players in the game. Thurnum Taxes or Tiny Towns? Thurnum Taxes. Fayum or Tiny Towns is going to be Fayum. Agricola or Tiny Towns? I'm going to say Agricola. Masters of Renaissance, the card game over Tiny Towns, yes. Mercator over Tiny Towns, yes. Istanbul over Tiny Towns. Right, we're getting to family weight games now. I'm actually going to go yes with Istanbul. Yes for Mini Express. Yes for Ragusa. But for this one, I'm actually going to go Tiny Towns with this one. Only Pavlov's House is nice. It is quite dice-based. And it's solo only. Whereas Tiny Towns is 1 to 6 players. Yeah. Pavlov's House or Roll for the Galaxy is going to be Roll for the Galaxy. Pavlov's House or Signorie. Now, Signorie is a solid game from What's Your Game, but I think which one would I prefer to play? I think we're going to go Pavlov's House. Splendor Marvel or Signorie? We'll go Splendor Marvel. Paranormal Detectives or Signorie? We'll go Signorie. Tybor the Builder or Paranormal Detectives? Let's go Paranormal Detectives. This one's going to be Tybor the Builder. This one's going to be Seven Wonders. This one's going to be Industrial Waste. This one, I have played Troy's Dice once. Yeah, I'm going to pick that one. Bonanza or Town Centre is going to be Bonanza. That's going to be Yokohama Jewel. That's going to be Splendor Jewel. That's going to be Winter Kingdom. That's probably going to be Mesopotamia. Baseball Highlights. Aleph Null. Tigris and Euphrates Contest of Kings, which is the card game. Another one that I think a lot of people haven't heard of. Proteus or the Town Centre? No, I'm actually going to pick Town Centre for this one. Proteus or Among the Stars? I'm going to go Proteus. I'm going to go Word Slam. Android, we talked about that a lot last time as well. I'm going to pick Among the Stars, I think. I mean, I wanted Android to be good. It's hard for me not to think about how good Android could have been if it had just had more design and more development and wasn't completely broken and took too long. So we're going to go Among the Stars, I think. Because, yeah, Android is a bit flawed. Oh, yeah, Merchants of Venus. I need to update my geek list of house rules. Because I do have one for Merchants of Venus. It's unplayable without it. Gonna go Merchants of Venus. This one's actually gonna be... I'm going on Android with this one. This one's gonna be Verdoran Gardens. This one's pretty... It's gonna be Take 5. Alchemist or Patchwork? Neither. Not because they're not good games. I just don't get on with these games. We're going to go Patchwork. We're going to go Anno 1503. We're going to go Andromeda. Age of Exploration or Alchemist? It's got to be Alchemists. This one's going to be Age of Exploration. Stevenson's Rocket. Pocket Mars. We're getting down to the bottom end of the scale now again. This is the point where I don't really care. I'm just going to pick things. Inhabit the Earth, Rock, Paper, Wizard, Timeline Discoveries, Microfilm, Xbugs. Yeah, I don't know. Hacker. Talisman. Right, okay, back to the top again. Right, both games very likely in my top 10 of all time. And I do love Maracaibo. And Maracaibo, with the expansion that came out 2021, Maracaibo is now the complete full game. It's got so many different modes of play, cooperative mode, 2 different solo modes, 2 campaigns. Maracaibo is a full package. It's an absolutely solid game. Maracaibo is probably higher than Great Western Trail for me in my top games of all time. Is it going to beat Mage Knight? No, it's not. Mage Knight is. Maracaibo or Arkham Horror the card game? As much as I love the Arkham Horror card game, Maracaibo is very much more my style of game. It doesn't have all of the issues that Arkham Horror has. And I'm saying that as somebody who loves the Arkham Horror card game, but it has 3 core mechanisms in there which don't suit me and make me uncomfortable. Whereas Maracaibo doesn't have any of those. So, Maracaibo. Marrakesh or Arkham Horror the card game? What have I just put above Arkham Horror the card game? I can't remember. Literally just done it. Yeah, I'm just going to scroll back. What was it I just did? It was Maracaibo, wasn't it? Yeah. So, Maracaibo or Marrakesh? Definitely Maracaibo. So, where do I put Marrakesh on this? Oh, I'm actually going to go Arkham Horror with this one. Yeah. Star Wars Outer Rim over Marrakesh. Oh, people are going to disown me. I've got a real thing for Star Wars Outer Rim. I can't believe how much I love it, even though it's got so much random element in it. I think members of the Stefan Feld fan club board game group on Facebook are probably going to kick me out if I choose Star Wars Outer Rim. But to be honest, given me the choice right now of playing both of those, I'd pick Star Wars Outer Rim because I love the game. Out of these two, see, I know I've only ever played base game Teotihuacan. I've never played with any of the expansions. Out of these two, I'm going to go Marrakesh. Anachrony or Teotihuacan? Oh. And let's just talk base game here. Base game Anachrony or base game Teotihuacan. Forget the fact that I've got the Infinity Box with all the expansions. Which one do I prefer to play? I love both of these games. I think we're going to go Anachrony. Android Netrunner or Teotihuacan? We're going to go Teotihuacan just because it's more Euro. Ark Nova or Android Netrunner? It's tricky because Android Netrunner, again, holds a special place for me. And I don't know where to put it based on my personal feelings about it. I'm going to go Android Netrunner over Ark Nova. And I'm also going to go Vinhos over Ark Nova. But out of these two... See, I do like Ark Nova, but I'm not one of those people who are jumping on the bandwagon and saying it's the best game ever. There are some issues with Ark Nova. And I'm not forgetting those issues. It's a great game, but there are some issues with it, mainly the cards. So I still think I'd prefer to play that than Zhengguo. Unlock, definitely. Princess of Florence? Yes. Ride the Rails over Zhengguo? Yes. Bonfire over Zhanguo, yes. Miyabi over Zhanguo. No, actually, I'm going to go Zhanguo with this one. Macau over Miyabi. Macau. Aquasphere. Elysium. Oh, wasn't sure about that. Out of these two, Tabanusi. Out of these two, probably Miyabi, actually. Keyforge is good. It's fun. Okay? It's enjoyable. But Miyabi is better. Vindication. Puerto Rico. Alhambra. Australia over Keyforge. Australia. Yep. Brass Lancashire over Keyforge. Yes. Alien Frontiers over Keyforge. Which one would I prefer to play? I mean, Alien Frontiers is good. But I think I'd prefer to play Keyforge. Out of these two, I think I'd prefer to play Welcome to Centerville. Not played that in such a long time. Atua I've only played once. So this is a tricky one. I'm having a drink because my throat is really, really sore. I'm in quite a lot of pain. But don't worry, I'll struggle through. Please send your letters of sympathy to Gaming Rules Headquarters, Columpton, Devon, Alien Frontiers or Atua. It's probably Atua. This is probably Keyflower. Oh, Hermagor or Alien Frontiers. Let's go Hermagor. Symphony number 9 or Alien Frontiers. Symphony number 9 is a very good game. But I'm going to go Alien Frontiers with this one. Tikal or Symphony number 9 is going to be Symphony number 9. Ra or Tikal. Right, these are both games that I bought 22, 23 years ago. Well, Ra I think was 2000. Tikal I think was 99. So when I first started board gaming, properly board gaming, I'm not talking the 80s stuff, and my collection was only like 30 games, these two were in there. Which one would I prefer to play? Probably Ra. Tikal or Helvetia? Helvetia. Paladins of the West Kingdom with a house rule. I need to add that to the list of house rules as well. Project L over Tikal. Project L's nice. I mean, it's a family game. It's very simple, family game. Not really a modern board game, more a traditional game. But I think I would prefer to play that over Tikal. I think. I've not played Tikal in a long time. How many people have played Tikal 2? Because I know there was a Tikal 2, but I've never played it, and I don't quite know what differences there are. I don't think it's like a second edition. I think it's like a different game. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if you've played Tikal 2 and how it compares to Tikal 1. Out of these two, I'm going to go Project L. But out of these two, I'm probably going to go... I'll go Arctic Scavengers. Three Kingdoms Redux. Macro. Tikal, though. Again, Lord of the Rings card game. Oh. Out of these two, though, probably Lord of the Rings. Hamlet, Flotilla. So You've Been Eaten. Trails of Tucana. Stone Age, as long as it's with average dice. Space Race. 504. Seventh Continent, I think. Mindbug. Adrenaline. Merchants of the Middle Ages. Not played it in 20 years. I'm going to go with Frontier Wars for that one, just because the combat is less random. Watson and Holmes or Eclipse? Oh, I see, I've gone off Eclipse in the last year. I've really gone off it. And that's doubly disappointing for me, because I started painting the miniatures for it, and I've painted like a third of them, and then suddenly went, actually, I don't like this game anymore. I always had a few issues with it, but I think it's better than Watson and Holmes. Watson and Holmes better than Assembly? Yes. Assembly or Fearibend? Fearibend, yeah. Assembly. Jetpack Joyride. Judge Dredd has the same problem of Wildlands, although there is the solo mode, which is quite good. Yeah, let's go with that. Bridges of Shangri-La. We're getting down to the bottom again now. El Caballero. Blockmania over Rogue Trooper. Both games that I bought in my teenage years. Out of the two, I think I'd prefer to play Rogue Trooper. Blockmania is just silly fun. Whereas I've got fond memories of Rogue Trooper. I think my copy that's in the attic is missing half of the bits, so I can't actually play it again even if I wanted to, which is a shame. Blockmania over March of Progress. Let's go March of Progress. Let's go Sherlock 13. Let's go Blockmania. Yeah, we're at the bottom now. Bureau of Investigation. The Resistance. Right, back to the top. How are we getting on? I don't know how far we are through. Let's save the progress. Call it 1450. We've been going, what, an hour? Yeah, it's going to be at least 4 hours. Terraforming Mars over Perseverance Castaway Chronicles episodes 1 and 2. Now, I'm not counting Terraforming Mars as just Terraforming Mars. I'm counting it as at least with Prelude. It's going to be Perseverance. But I had to think about that one. Ashes Reborn. Now, apologies. In my top 10 games of 2021, which I strongly recommend everybody goes and watches, because I need the views. Yeah, top 10 games of 2021. I didn't put Ashes Reborn in there, even though I put Great Western Trail 2nd Edition. So, apologies, but Ashes Reborn should have been in my top 10 games of 2021. Because effectively, it's a new version of Ashes. And if I'm going to put Great Western Trail 2nd Edition in, I should have put that in. So that was bad pull. I don't know why it didn't appear on my list. Which one of those would I prefer to play? I think Ashes is absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely love it. But I'd prefer to play Terraforming Mars. Oh, that's painful. Ashes or High Rise? I think High Rise is fantastic. Yeah, I'm going to pick High Rise. Amerigo. No, I'm going to go with Ashes this time. I just needed to balance things out a bit. Amerigo or Paris? I'm actually going to go Amerigo with this one. Kanban EV or Paris? We're going to go Kanban EV. Paris or Sky Mines? We're going to go Sky Mines. Paris or Amsterdam? I'm actually going to go Paris. Amsterdam or Battle Law 2nd Edition? It's got to be Amsterdam. Too Many Bones or Battle Law? It's got to be Too Many Bones. Anno 1800. Age of Steam. Again, this is not just Time Stories. This is the whole Time Stories. All of the Time Stories games. Some of them have been very good. Hamburg or Battle Law? I'm not getting on with Hamburg as much as other people are. So I'm actually going to go Battle Law with this one. Black Angel or Hamburg? Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm going to go Black Angel. This time I'm going to go Hamburg. Asgard or Agra? We're going to go Asgard. Scylla or Agra? Let's go Scylla. Bus. I'm going to go Agra this time. Bus is great. Really, really great. But it requires the brain to work in a certain way, and I'm not very good at it at all. So Kingdom Builder for me. Praga Kaput Regni. Solar Storm. Battlestar Galactica. Messina. It seems like I don't like bus. I do. I'm just not good at it. 20th Century. North American Railways, very, very good. Right. This time I'm going to pick bus. Brick and Mortar. Excuse me, I got something in my eye. Oh, dear. Right. Wealth of Nations or Legacy. Let's go Legacy. Let's go Starship Captains. Let's go the Adventure Games. Let's go Blue Moon City. Let's go 8-Minute Empire Legends. Let's go Edelstein and Reich. That was me making a noise because of what's in my throat, not because of the choice of games. Wealth of Nations or Primordial Soup. Let's go. Not sure. Cup of tea, not just yet, thank you. But I am starting to fall asleep. And I've got about 4 hours left. Let's go Primordial Soup. Stop overthinking it, Paul. Otherwise you're going to be here all day. Trains or Wealth of Nations. Again, Trains needs a house rule. If somebody can remind me later on, I need to update my geek list and add Trains to it, because I have a house rule for Trains which stops the game being completely broken. Then again, Wealth of Nations, it doesn't work straight out of the box. They needed to fix Wealth of Nations when it first came out, because that didn't work. And they fixed it with some house rules. So actually I'm going to go Trains. This time I'm going to go Wealth of Nations. This time I'm going to go Sniper Elite. This one I'll go Stars of Ikarios. This one I'll go Batman. Lost Valley. I'd like to play that again, actually. It's in the attic, I think. Anti-K or Medieval Merchant. Let's go Anti-K. Last Will or Medieval Merchant, we'll go Last Will. Priest of Ra. Keeper. Medieval Merchant. Erland. For me, personally, I prefer to play Flick Fleet. There's actually quite a bit of strategy to Flick Fleet, as well as the flicking. Trans-Europa is a family game. It's a gateway game. And Tigris and Euphrates is a Reiner Knizia classic. But for me, I'd prefer to play Trans-Europa. And I'd prefer to play Acquire. And I'd prefer to play Lux Aeterna. And I think I'd prefer to play Ostia. Not that I know how to play Ostia. But out of these two, probably Tigris and Euphrates. Pendulum. Point Salad. Bottle Imp. Streets. Mandala Stones. 2038 is great. It's just too long. Fortune. Apples to Apples. 2038. Alexandria. Battle Cars. Tokyo Washi Game Cats. Steal This Game. Six Nymphs. Kremlin needs to be added to my bucket list. I want to play Kremlin again before I leave this planet. I played it in the 80s. I've got a copy of it upstairs. It's such an old school game. But there's something a bit special about it. And there was a new version that came out a few years ago. I think it was exactly the same game. If anybody knows, let me know. Did the version of Kremlin that came out a few years ago, was it literally just a reprint, or did they change any of the rules? Yeah. If you know, leave me a comment in the video. Let me know, because I will see the comments. I'll have a quick look at the live chat as well. Oh yeah, the guy on the Medieval Merchant page. Yeah. Yeah. I remember playing Medieval Merchant a lot. I've probably played it like 25, 30 times. One of the first games I got when I got back into, or seriously into board games. Anyway, I picked card game or Kremlin. I'm going to go Kremlin. Let's go Epic. Let's go Beastie Boys. Let's go Paperclip Railways. Right, we're back to the top again. So, two of my favourite games. These games are both top 10 games for me, I think. Oh dear. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I love both of them. Which one would I be more upset about if somebody removed it from my collection and I'd never be able to play it again? Probably Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. Because I've got the Spirit Island app. This is a really difficult choice. I'm going to go with Spirit Island, but only just. Yokohama is fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. But Lord of the Rings beats it. Cooper Island or Yokohama? Oh. Cooper Island. Nippon. Yokohama. Russian railroads. We've got some really solid Euros here. Kalis. Wow. I mean, La Granja is an absolutely super solid Euro, and Hoplomachus Victorum is something completely different from that. But which one would I prefer to play? Actually, Hoplomachus Victorum. La Granja or Via Nebula? I'm going to go Via Nebula. Underrated. La Granja or Railroad Revolution is going to be La Granja. On Mars or Railroad Revolution? Probably on Mars. Sulkin or Railroad Revolution? Sulkin needs some house rules to fix it. That's another thing for me to add to my list of house rules, if somebody can remind me of that later on. Toot Toot says, you played the newer Kremlin, it had not aged well, although better than Talisman. You can't remember how much it had changed. Yeah. I didn't think it would age well. Yeah. Although better than Talisman. Out of these two, probably Tolkien. Flamme Rouge. Year of the Dragon. Just one. Railroad Revolution. Red Cathedral. Space Corps. Dead Reckoning. Terra Mystica. Lisboa. Orleans. Cuba. Glenmore 2. I'm sticking with the Euros for the moment until Oathsworn gets to a point where I'm like, so Colonia is really good. Oh. Okay, now we're going to go Oathsworn. Roll for Adventure. Licita. Flamecraft. Oh. I'm actually going to go Chronicles of Crime with this one. Exit Games, yes. Unfathomable. Shipyard. Capital Lux 2. Mykarinos. Notre Dame or Hansa. Notre Dame. Ingenious or Hansa is going to be Ingenious. That's going to be Hansa Teutonica. That's going to be Furnace. That's going to be Free Ride. Ultramare. Golem. Both David Turtsey games here. I'm going to go Days of Ire. Charterstone or Imperium? I said this in part 1 and part 2. Imperium, I feel a bit bad not including that in my top 10 because it is very, very good. It's very, very clever. I just felt it was a bit too much and a little bit too long. The too long is what put me off. I'd love a 45, 60-minute game, not a 2-hour game. Oh, this is tricky. I'm going to go Imperium. Codenames Duet or Charterstone is Codenames Duet. Prodigal's Club or Charterstone? To be honest, I love the little mini games in Prodigal's Club. I think it's got no theme at all. I love the mini games. Planet Steam. Charterstone over Rakeholt. Charterstone over Rakeholt. Rakeholt. Coloma. Charterstone. Probably Robinson Crusoe. Probably Pizarro and Co. Probably Woodcraft. Probably Carpe Diem. Vasco da Gama. Clash of Cultures. Dragon Castle. How far is Ultra going to go down? Nautilus. Right. Which one of those would I prefer to play? I think Ultra. Ponzi Scheme. Talon. Keyflow. Actually, Expedition to Newdale. This is not fair. Super Heavy Vital Lacerda Euro or trick-taking game, stab each other in the back, takes 5 minutes to play. Probably the Gallerist. Vital will unfriend me if I pick Stickham. This is going to be icky. This is going to be... See, I thought Sabika was okay, but I was a little disappointed. There was a few bits about it that were a little bit disappointing, and that might actually stop it ever getting back to the table. It's a shame, because if those things were fixed about it, it would have been a much better game. Let's go Stickham. Let's go on Itama. Let's go Evo. Not played it in a long time. Spirium. But I think I'd prefer to play Sabika than Thunderstone Quest. And Space Alert. And Key to the City of London. No, Thunderstone Quest instead of Starship Catan. And Tricerian. And The Crew. Legends Untold. Castles of Madkin Ludwig. Fabled Fruit. It's interesting. Starship Catan is a bit... It's aged a bit. But I played it loads and I played it with Vicky and parts about it that I really enjoy. Let's go Starship Catan. Let's go Hallertau. Let's go Scorpius Freighter. Let's go Mobile Markets. Let's go Ispahan. Let's go Isle of Cats. Let's go Twilight Squabble. But let's go Dungeon Scroll instead of King of the Elves. But King of the Elves over Traders of Osaka. But Traders of Osaka over Founders of Gloomhaven. Monster Expedition, I've only played the once. Quite liked it. More than Founders of Gloomhaven, probably. Flick of Faith. Given the choice, yes, I would probably play Flick of Faith. I'd also probably prefer to play Mystery House. And Lancashire Railways for nostalgia reasons. And Lord of the Rings. And Fast Lots. Lots of variability. Right, Deal with the Devil or Founders of Gloomhaven. Probably Deal with the Devil. Probably Mysterium. Founders. Nemo's War. I'm not a big fan of Carcassonne. So Power Grid. Gears of War. Immortals. Giganton. Pocket Imperium. Tranquility. How far down is Carcassonne going to go? Trap Words. Pandemic. I don't like Suburbia. Played it loads. So, funny story. The year that Suburbia came out, I pre-ordered it for collection at Essen from Bezier Games. Paid them €45. Then when I got to the fair, they were selling it at the fair for €35. And I said, I'm not happy about that. I've literally paid you 45 euros 2 weeks ago, whereas you're selling it here for 35 euros. And they gave me 10 euros back, but they were like, and I'm like, it was ridiculous. So yeah, I've never forgotten that. I don't know when that was. That was like way over 10 years ago. When did Suburbia come out? Somebody let me know. But anyway, side story. Out of the two, probably Suburbia. Out of those two, if Grenderland had better rules, so we actually understood what we were supposed to be doing, it's a much better game than Carcassonne. In Between didn't really work for me, so Carcassonne. Oh my goods. Dice Master City of Doom, yes. Caribbean. Carcassonne the Castle. Racing Tortoises. Tukey. Formula Motor Racing. Colossal Arena sort of works. We're getting down to the bottom again now, aren't we? In Between. Long Live the Queen. Tide of Iron. Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Fire. Civilization. Red Alert Space Fleet Warfare. Kings and Things. Lost Expedition. Classic Warlord. Yeah, I'd play that if it wasn't too long. Goblins Inc. Sherlock Tomb of the Archaeologist. Wizard's Quest. Yeah, we're at the bottom end of the scale again. I'm picking pretty much anything other than Superpower at this point. It was nice to see that Board Games with Niramas, who did something similar to this on his channel a few days ago, he has the same opinion of Dungeon Quest as I do. And it was designed by a Swedish designer as well. And he's Swedish. Here we go. Yeah, Supremacy or Superpower. Neither game works. Both games should be thrown in the bin. I don't even know why I've still got these in my collection. They literally should just be thrown in the bin. I don't want anybody to have them. Because they're so awful. But I'm going to pick Superpower. I'll pick Hero Quest. It's both awful. Both awful, awful games. Right, we're back to the top. I'm getting a bit of a headache as well. That's not a good sign. I'll just send Vicky a message and get her to bring up some tablets. Could I have 2 ibuprofen, please? There we go. Need a little bell. So, Through the Ages, A New Story of Civilization, or Great Western Trail. Now, thing is, with Through the Ages, we have the app. Therefore, there is a solo mode for Through the Ages because of the app. And not only do we have a solo mode, we have all of the challenges, which have made that game absolutely huge for me. If it was just the base game of Through the Ages, and is it fair for me to rate the app in with that? Because that's what I'm going to do. As far as I'm concerned, the Through the Ages app is merging in with the board game, and I'm rating that on not just the board game, I'm rating it on the app as well. Because otherwise, Great Western Trail might pip it. So we're going with Through the Ages. Underwater Cities or Great Western Trail? Oh, it's Great Western Trail. Cloudspire or Underwater Cities? I love Cloudspire. It's my favourite game of 2019. But it has such a learning curve. And you will get 100 rules wrong every time you play it. Slight exaggeration there. Underwater Cities is just pure brilliance. I'm going Underwater Cities. Pillars of the Earth or Cloudspire? I'd love to get to the point with Cloudspire where I don't make dozens and dozens of mistakes every time I play it. I want to be at that stage, with Cloudspire. And if I get to that stage with Cloudspire, I can then start appreciating it for what the game is supposed to be. A little bit like what I went through with Too Many Bones. I was playing Too Many Bones once every few months, and I wasn't ever getting comfortable enough with the game that I wasn't able to appreciate what everybody else sees in the game. And eventually I worked hard at that, and I kept playing it and playing it and playing it, and I got there. And I think with Cloudspire it would be the same. Whereas Pillars of the Earth is just such an absolute solid Euro game. I'm going with Cloud Spy because of what I want to achieve with Cloud Spy. Kalos 1303, but only just. Crown of Amara is very, very good. If you haven't played Crown of Amara and you like the kind of medium weight Euro games that I like, you need to check Crown of Amara out because it is very good. I am just going to pick Pillars of the Earth above it though. As much as I like Newton, I think Crown of Amara is better. As is Aura et Labora. As is Pulsar 2849. Both Pulsar 2849 and Newton are literally the most themeless, dry Euros with just bunches of icons that you can imagine. Out of these two, Royal Palace. Also on my top 10 underrated games of all time. Concordia. Gloomhaven or Newton? I mean, we've had such experiences with Gloomhaven. So it's going to have to be Gloomhaven. I mean, I like Heat, but Newton is more my kind of game. I say that, but Heat is really good. And I've only played the base game of Heat. I've not even played any of the expansions yet. If we're talking pure, dry, boring Euro, sit there and just math it out and work out what to do, then it's Newton. But Heat is exciting. It's fun. I'm going to Heat. I'm going away from what I originally thought. Newton or Crystal Palace is going to be Newton. Star Wars Destiny or Crystal Palace? I'd prefer to play Star Wars Destiny. Taj Mahal or Crystal Palace? Going Taj Mahal. I think I'm going first class. I do like Crystal Palace. It's got no theme in it whatsoever. It's just got a whole bunch of stuff in the game that's called things that they're just moving up tracks and getting bonuses and icons. I like the game. Don't get me wrong. I like the game. Come Together or Crystal Palace? I'm going to go Come Together. I'm going to go Golden Ages. Not played it in a long time. Going to go Forum Trajanum. Going to go Le Havre. Going to go Tekhenu. Going to go So Clover. Going to go The Magnificent. Going to go Codenames Pictures. Shadow of the Emperor. But I think I prefer Crystal Palace to Origins. And Lancaster. And Castles of Burgundy. And Dominant Species. And Dungeon Lords. And Rebuilding Seattle. And Key Market. And Undaunted Stalingrad. And Snowdonia. And Dungeon Pets. Oh, we got a cat. Hello, Loki. Is he being cute? It's being very cute. We got him a new toy for Christmas. And he loves it. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Just going to have some tablets because Daddy's not feeling very well. Chocolate Factory or Origins First Builders? Right. Hopefully that'll get rid of the headache. Let's go Chocolate Factory. I'm actually going to go Origins with this one. I respect the crew. It's a fantastic game. I'm not very good at it. And Origins is more suited to my style of game. As is Rialto. It's got to be Tainted Grail, just for the experience. This is a tricky one. I'm going to go the crew. I'm going to go Il Principe. I'm going to go Zapotec. I'm going to go Cocapelli. I'm going to go on the Underground. But I'm going to go Championship Formula Racing. I'm going to go Rise of Empires. Crisis. Discoveries, Palaces of Carrara, Cloud Age, Legends of Andor, Mermies, New York City, Watergate, Rush MD or Galaxy Trucker, both real-time games. I think I'm going to go Rush MD. This one I'm going to go Galaxy Trucker, Sid Meier's Civilization, Mage Wars Academy, Codenames, Sidereal Confluence, Pathfinder Adventure Card Game, Honshu, Cerebria, Warhammer Quest, Communai, Sierra West, Race for the Galaxy, Clans of Caledonia, La Isla, come on Progress Bar, move, Caelus Magna Carta, Oracle of Delphi, Cubitos, Cavum, again it's like I don't like Venice, Weather Machine, Sail Autorama, Throne of Allegoria, World Without End, War of the Ring card game, Olympos, Escape Tales, Futuropia, Splendor, Venice, Gumshoe, Leonardo da Vinci, Noria, Roads and Boats. That's not come out for a while. First time today. Mystic Vale, Java, Cousins War, Forge War, Scout, City Builder, Summit, Cartographers, yeah, Dominion. Out of those two though, Pipeline, San Marco, Star Trek Expeditions, King is Dead, Catan card game, probably Watch, Concept, Heckmech, Panamax, Knights of Fire, Monumental, Dragonfire, Dice Settlers, Phantom the card game, Metropolis, Suspects, Crossing Oceans, it's just a bit too long, Quo Vadis, Dimaka, Lords of Hellas, High Treason, Factory Fun, Conan, again if somebody can paint my 300 miniatures for it, Twilight Imperium, Swatch, Quarriors with the house rules, another one, whoever's making that list of games that I need to add to my geek list of house rules, please add Quarriors in there. So that was Quarriors, whatever the other two were that I mentioned earlier on. Unfortunate Adel, Detective, just a shame that wasn't better, Cryptid, Scepter von Zavandor, The Reef. Railway Rivals is really good, with average dice. Intrigue, very, very clever. Telestrations isn't even a game. It's just a lot of fun. Let's go Fire and Stone. Rainbow Rage. How can you compare these two games? This doesn't really matter, to be honest. I'm not going to worry too much about these ones down here. I mean, I'd love to be able to play War of the Ring again. I dug it out a few years ago, but it is just unplayable. And it just doesn't work, and the rules are bonkers. And it's a shame, because I played it loads when I was like 13, 14. Probably still prefer to play it than Corporate Shuffle. But I think Corporate Shuffle is going to beat Zombie Dice. At least it's fun. As is Shave the Sheep. And probably Container. Probably Formula D as well. But possibly not Warrior Knights. I mean, we're talking gun to the head at this point with these two games. So I'm going to have to pick Zombie Dice. Oh, I don't want to pick either of these. I'm just going to pick random ones down at the bottom because I just want to burn both of these games. Right, are we back to the top? We're back to the top, thankfully. Oh, it's painful getting down at the bottom. I'm looking at these games that I'm like, I hate both of these games. They're awful. And I've got to make a decision. Whereas this is actually a harder decision. It's going to be Frosthaven. But if that was Gloomhaven, it might not be. But I'm gonna pick Frosthaven. And speaking of my list of house rules, I've actually got some house rules for Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. If you're interested, if somebody wouldn't mind putting the list, the link to my geek list where I talk about my house rules, please pop it in the chat, because I'm talking about it a few times on these streams. So yeah, if you could pop the link in the chat, that would be great. Because I do actually have some for Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, but I'm going to pick that there. Marvel Champions or Feast for Odin. Love both of these games. They are both top 10 for me. Feast for Odin probably edges it just. Now, if you'd have asked me this 3 months ago, it would have been Marvel Champions. But I've been playing a lot of Caverna on Board Game Arena, and it has reminded me just how enjoyable the game is to play. Yeah, Caverna. Marvel Champions or Carnegie. Carnegie is a masterpiece of a game. Absolute masterpiece of a game. I'm going to go Carnegie. This time we're going to go Marvel Champions. I love Marvel Champions. It can be a bit random with the cards and with the way they come out, but it's one of the best games I've ever played. Assyria or Gentes is... I've not played either of these in a long time. I think I'm going to go Assyria. I'm going to go... I keep saying how good Gentes is. This headache's not gone yet. How much longer have I got? Oh dear. Trajan or Gentes? I'm going to go Trajan. ISS Vanguard. Frostpunk. Gentes. Oh. Lothrans Varnak. Imperial Steam. Rococo. Aeon's End. Coimbra. Amon-Ra. Madeira. Euthea. Boon Lake. Two of the games which I say most people have not heard of these games, and they're both really, really good. I'm going to pick Stanford Dynasty. I'm going to pick Letter Jam. I'm going to pick Lacrimosa. Going to pick Attica. Going to pick Bitoku. Going to pick Luna. Going to pick Sherlock Holmes. Under Falling Skies. Traders of Genoa. Merlin Big Box. Tapestry. Hamburgum. Endless Winter. War Chest. At this point, still Merv. Age of Industry. Heroes of Terrinoth. Alibari. Barrage. Magnastorm. Super Skill Pinball. Burn Cycle. Tilatum. Amiitis. Endeavour. Actually, let's just undo that. I've not used the undo feature before. So I've got the first edition of Endeavour, and it did not scale well. It worked at 4 or 5 players. It did not work at 2 or 3, and there were no rules in the box whatsoever for that. I don't know if the newer version fixed that in some way, but you had to house rule it. I still think it's the better game. Viscounts. Terraforming Mars Ares. Navigador. Revive. Amul. Thurnon Taxes. Fayum. Agricola. Kahuna. Homesteaders. Tindaya. Masters of Renaissance. Mercator. Space Base. Ming Voyages. Escape Plan. Maharaja. Rouge. Mexica. League of Six. Istanbul. Oh, Mini Express or Mini Rails? Actually, Mini Express. Ragusa. Tiny Towns. Roll for the Galaxy. Ooh. Let's go Pavlov's House. Let's go Splendor Marvel. Let's go Mini Rails. Let's go Jorvik. Let's go Signoria. Paranormal Detectives. Tybor the Builder. Seven Wonders. Industrial Waste. Troy's Dice. Bonanza. Yokohama Duel. Splendor Duel. Winter Kingdom. Mesopotamia. Baseball Highlights. Come on, Pictomania. Aleph Null. Tigris and Euphrates card game. Town Centre. Pictomania. Magnate. Copenhagen. Pictures. Dominant Species Marine. Terracotta Army. Proteus. Word Slam. Herbaceous. Augsburg. Ooh. Factory Manager. Fortress. Among the Stars. Merchants Venus. Tashkalar, we're getting down there again. Android. Padoran Gardens. Between Two Cities. Canterbury. Lost Cities. Wildlands. Small City. Tempest. Why is it throwing in all these really good games against one that I think I've rated quite low? Castle for All Seasons. Imperial. Magnum Sal. Hansa. Beast. Mercado de Lisboa. Magna Grecia. Import Export. Descent. Diesel Demolition Derby. Wibble Plus Plus. But I think I prefer to play Hornoshan and Patchwork and Anno 1503. Possibly not Andromeda though. Axis and Allies. Torres. Mayscape. D&D Onslaught. Andromeda. Yeah, okay. We're getting down there again. Down near the bottom. I'm not even going to bother reading these things out now. You can see what I'm picking. And it's kind of not as important when we're down at the bottom. Because it really doesn't matter. Right, okay, we're at the top. So, Perseverance. So both of these games have probably won every vote so far, which is why this system is putting them both at the top. And I love both of them, but it is going to be Mage Knight. Oh. This is going to be Maracaibo. And that's actually not taken me that long to think about this. And I'm aware that Perseverance has the campaign mode, and it has some extra bits, and it has the solo mode and everything else. But Maracaibo is more me. Even though I do love Perseverance. Out of these two, now then, struggling with this one. What does the chat think I'm going to pick? Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles, Episodes 1 and 2, or Arkham Horror the card game? I mean, they're very, very different styles of games. Interested. Most of the chat are saying that I'm going to pick Arkham. And I am tempted to. As much as I like Perseverance, I have had some extraordinary experiences with the Arkham Horror card game. To be fair, Perseverance is probably the better game. But again, Star Wars Outer Rim, for me, there is something special. Now, if we think about it from a solo game, Star Wars Outer Rim, I love Star Wars Outer Rim as a solo game and as a two-player game. Perseverance, I cannot play as a solo game. It is way too complicated for me. It gives me a migraine just even thinking about playing the solo mode. It's very, very clever. Don't get me wrong. It's very clever. But it's too much for me. So I can't play Perseverance as a solo game. Whereas Star Wars Outer Rim, I can absolutely play that as a solo game and it's fantastic. Perseverance, I can play that as a 3 and 4 player game and it's great. Star Wars Outer Rim as a 3 and 4 player game takes a bit too long because you're not doing much when it isn't your turn. Whereas Perseverance, the turns are shorter. So I mean, it's difficult because right now I'm watching, we've got Disney Plus, and I'm watching a lot of the Star Wars stuff at the moment. So my brain is in a Star Wars mood, and I grew up loving Star Wars and watching Star Wars. So I've got an association with Star Wars Outer Rim that I don't have with Perseverance. Oh. I'm going to go Star Wars Outer Rim. If you gave me the choice of playing either of those two games right now, with the perfect player count, it would be Star Wars Outer Rim. Marrakesh or Perseverance is going to be Marrakesh. Anachrony or Perseverance, the Mind Clash head-to-head. And I've been asked this question before. Do I prefer Perseverance or Anachrony? And actually, I think I prefer Anachrony. Perseverance over Teotihuacan? Yes. Terraforming Mars over Teotihuacan. As much as I like Terraforming Mars, I think Teotihuacan is a better game. Terraforming Mars or Android Netrunner. I'm going to go with... I mean, neither of them work as a solo game. I think the Terraforming Mars solo game is awful. And Android Netrunner doesn't have a solo mode. So as far as I'm concerned, neither of these games are playable solo. I'm going to go Netrunner. I'm going to go... See, part of me thinks, just Terraforming Mars, because it's just enjoyable to play and I love playing it. Vinhos is a lot more intensive. It's a lot more work on the brain. It is by far a better game. But which one would I get more enjoyment out of playing? I would get more enjoyment from playing Terraforming Mars. I'd also probably get more enjoyment of playing High Rise. And again, that's just because Vinhos does have a lot of... and I'm trying not to let the fact that I've got a headache influence my decision on this. But it requires a lot more work to get where you want to get in terms of exerting brain power and putting it all together. I think High Rise is a great game. I'm gonna vote High Rise. Ashes Reborn or Vinhos? probably making some choices here that people are thinking are questionable. Gonna go Vinhos. Ark Nova or Ashes Reborn? Gonna go Ashes. Amerigo or Ark Nova? Amerigo is underrated. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of people who are Stefan Feld fans, and they hate Amerigo. I think it's a really solid game. Is it as much fun as Ark Nova? Which one would I choose to play if given the choice? I mean, 4 players, Amerigo. 3 players, Amerigo. 1 or 2 players, possibly Ark Nova. Again, this is another one where 99% of people are going to pick Ark Nova, but I'm actually going to pick Amerigo. Same with Kanban EV. I prefer to play Kanban EV. And right now, this is interesting, because Sky Mines doesn't work at low player counts. It really needs the 3 or 4 players to get it to work properly. But which one of these 2 games do I prefer playing? Sky Mines. Out of these 2, though, as much as I like Paris, Ark Nova is more enjoyable to play. As is the Unlock series of adventures. As is the Prince of Florence. As is Ride the Rails. As is Bonfire. But Paris over Zhanguo? See, Paris is interesting because it's Kramer and Kiesling, and they're doing what they do best. They're coming up with really good classic Euros that are of a style that's 20 years old. But Paris is a new game. I think Paris is cleaner. Out of these 2, I'm actually going to go Zhanguo. Oh, now, there was a question as to whether I should have both of these games on my list, because Amsterdam is the new version of Macau. So here it is. Given the choice, which one of these 2 games would I play? And it is going to be Amsterdam. There are some tweaks in Amsterdam which I believe make it a better game than Macau. So it's going to be Amsterdam. Some people have said I should possibly remove Macau from the list, but I've decided to keep it in. Out of these 2, though, I'm going to go Macau. This one's going to be Too Many Bones. This one's going to be Anno 1800. This one's going to be Age of Steam. Time Stories. I do like Aquasphere. Let's give this one to Aquasphere. Battle Lore. Black Angel. I said in part 2, I think Hamburg was a bit let down by the new artwork style. I'm still going to go Hamburg over Elysium. But I'm going to go Elysium over Asgard. Tabanusi. My Abbey. Vindication. Puerto Rico. Alhambra. Australia. Brass Lancashire. Asgard. Scylla. Keyforge. Welcome to Centerville. Atiwa. Keyflower. Agra. Kingdom Builder. Praga. Hermagor. Alien Frontiers. Symphony Number 9. Solar Storm. Battlestar Galactica. Messina. 20th Century. North American Railways. Ra. Helvetia. Paladins of the West Kingdom. Project L. I'd love to be able to get my head around Bus. I'm just really bad at it. I still think I'd prefer to play it than Arctic Scavengers, though. Brick and Mortar. Legacy. Starship Captains. Adventure Games, Blue Moon City, Arctic Scavengers, Three Kingdoms Redux, Micro Macro, Tikal, Lord of the Rings card game, Hamlet, Flotilla, So You've Been Eaten, Trails of Tucana, Stone Age, as long as it's with average dice, Space Race, 504, Seventh Continent, Mindbug, Adrenaline, Merchants of the Middle Ages, Frontier Wars, Aiming Empire Legends over Eclipse. Yes, because I don't have 4 hours to sit there doing absolutely nothing and then a big massive battle right at the end. Primordial Soup, Trains, Wealth of Nations, Sniper Elite. Right now I'm going to go Eclipse. As I said before, Stars of Icarios, we need to wait for the second edition where they fix all of the errors and clarify all of the rules, and then I'll go back to it and give it another go. Stars of Icarios has the potential to be incredible, but was let down by ambiguous rule set and a lot of editing errors. I think I still prefer that than Watson and Holmes. Batman, Lost Valley, Anti-K, Last Will, Priests of Ra, Keeper, Medieval Merchant, Erland, Fleet, Trans Europa, Choir, Lux Aeterna, Ostia. Problem with Watson and Holmes is it's got like 13, 14 scenarios in it. They're play once scenarios. Once you've worked it out, and it's not cooperative. That's the thing. It's one of these Sherlock Holmes detective style games, but it's not cooperative. Works a little bit like Cluedo. I think Tigris and Euphrates, Pendulum, Point Salad, Bottle Imp, Streets, Mandala Stones, Fast Forward Fortune, Apples to Apples. This one's going to be Watson and Holmes, though. This one's probably going to be 2038. Alexandria. We're down near the bottom again, aren't we? Fearabend, Assembly, Jetpack Joyride, Judge Dredd Helter Skelter, Bridges of Shangri-La, El Caballero, Battle Cars, Tokiwashi Game Cats, Steal This Game, Six Nimmt, Kremlin or Rogue Trooper. I have both of these in the attic. Let's go Rogue Trooper. Let's go March of Progress. Let's go Sherlock 13. Let's go Blockmania. Let's go Bureau of Investigation. Let's go The Resistance. Let's go Kremlin. Let's go Epic. Let's go Elevator Ready. Paperclip Railways. Sneaks and Stitches. How many people have heard of Shattered States? It's a game that I bought in Orc's Nest in the 80s or early 90s. It's an awful, awful game. Still putting it above Illuminati, though. Which one would I prefer to play? Well, to be honest, Illuminati is just so old school game design. Great idea, but so much downtime and so random. It's going to be in a bind. Flux. I mean, I'd prefer to play Flux than Illuminati. It's got to that stage. Right. We're back to the top again. How far are we through? Let's save. I don't know how far we are through. 1548. My nose is all bunged up as well. If I click on this, I mean, I can't move. Yeah, it's a shame that it doesn't show the percentage there. I've actually got to click on that. 78% of the way through. So we're 3/4 of the way through. More than 3/4. Excellent. Right. Through the Ages or Spirit Island. Two of my favourite games of all time. I'm actually going to give it to Spirit Island. And I'm surprised I didn't think about that one as much. Through the Ages or Journeys of Middle-earth. So different. So different. A few years ago, this wouldn't have even been a contest. This would have been Through the Ages, hands down. But as far as an enjoyable gaming experience goes, the Lord of the Rings game is fantastic. I'm actually going to give this to Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Vlaja. Nobody tell him. This one's going to go to Through the Ages. This one's going to go to Great Western Trail. This is an interesting one. I'm going to go Underwater Cities. This one's going to go to Cloudspire, Kalis. I'm going to rate Cooper Island above Pillars of the Earth. I think. Am I? No. Pillars of the Earth. Crown of Amara. Ora et Labora. Cooper Island. Nippon. Pulsar 2849. Royal Palace. Concordia. Gloomhaven. Heat. Newton or Yokohama. Let's go Yokohama. Russian Railroads. Original Kalis. Again, I've kept that in because I felt that 1303 was a sufficiently different game. Newton. Star Wars Destiny. Taj Mahal. First Class. See, the original Kalis used to be my #1 game of all time, and look at it now. I just feel that the new one's a lot more streamlined and a lot better. Probably going to pick it over Come Together, though. Given the choice right now, played both of these games recently. It's going to be Hoplo. This is probably going to be Via Nebula just because I really rate Via Nebula as a game. Come Together is fantastic, though. La Granja. On Mars. Tolkien. Flamme Rouge. In the Year of the Dragon. Just one. Come Together. Golden Ages or Railroad Revolution? Railroad Revolution. Red Cathedral. Space Corps. Dead Reckoning, I think. No, I'm going to go Golden Ages. Forum Trajanum. Le Havre. Tekhenu. Soap Clover. Dead Reckoning. Terra Mystica. Lisboa. Orleans. Cuba. Glenmore 2. Nusfjord, but needs a house rule. And I think that is on my list of house rules already. Yeah, I think it is. Colonia. I'm going to go the Magnificent for that one. Codenames Pictures or Oathsworn. Let's give that to Oathsworn. Roll for Adventure. Lasita. Flamecraft. Chronicles of Crime or Codenames Pictures. I think Chronicles of Crime for the stories as exit games. Also Unfathomable, which I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. Shipyard. Capital Lux 2. Macarinos. Notre Dame. Again, Codenames is suffering because So Clover and Just One have kind of replaced Codenames for me as the 15-20 minute fun party game that you can play with non-gamers. So I don't really consider Codenames anymore because I've got So Clover and Just One. Ingenious. Hansa Teutonica. Furnace. Free Ride. Ultramare. Golem. I probably should have... Yeah, Golem is another game which I missed off my top 10 games of 2021. In fact, it should have been an honourable mention. I liked it enough that it should have been an honourable mention, and I just forgot to include it. I kind of dismissed it, and I shouldn't have done. So apologies for Golem. Apologies to Golem for that. Codenames pictures for this one. Shadow of the Emperor. Crystal Palace. Lancaster. Castles of Burgundy. Dominant Species. Dungeon Lords. Rebuilding Seattle. Key Market. Undaunted Stalingrad. Snowdonia. Dungeon Pets. Chocolate Factory. Origins. Rialto. Tainted Grail. Crew. Il Principe. And I'm going Il Principe off a memory of how good it was, not having played it in like 10 years. Zapotec. Cocapelli. On the Underground. Championship Formula Racing. Rise of Empires. Excuse me. Crisis. Discoveries. Do want to play Days of Ire again. Palaces of Carrara. Cloud Age. Legends of Andor. The problem with Days of Ire is it's a one versus many game, and I'm not keen on those, especially when I'm the one. Mermies. New York City. Watergate. Rush MD. Galaxy Trucker. Sid Meier's Civilization. Mage Wars Academy. Codenames. Sidereal Confluence. Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. Honshu. Cerebria. Warhammer Quest. Communai. Sierra West. Oh, this is dropping down, isn't it? Race for the Galaxy. I mean, it said it was going to be 3,188 comparisons. I think this has been a lot more. It's like it's having to pick every game 600 times, which is a bit crazy. Clans I'd prefer to play. La Isla. Caelus Magna Carta. Oracle of Delphi. Cubitos. Cavum. Right. At this point, though, I'm going to pick Days of Ire. And Imperium Classics. And Codenames Duet. Sorry, Vittel. And Prodigal's Club. And Planet Steam. Definitely losing followers. And Reykholt. And Coloma. Given the choice, to be honest, hand on heart, Charterstone. And Robinson Crusoe. And Bizarro & Co. And Woodcraft. And Carpe Diem. Let's pick Weather Machine over Vasco da Gama. There you go. For Sale. Throne of Allegoria. World Without End. War of the Ring, the card game. Olympos. Escape Tales. Futuropia. Splendor. I think Vasco da Gama's a good game. It's just a bit opaque. Venice. Gumshoe. Leonardo da Vinci. Noria. Roads and Boats. Mystic Vale. Did the progress bar just move? I think it did. I'm going to go Vasco da Gama on this one. Clash of Cultures. Dragon Castle. Nautilus. Ultray. Ponzi Scheme. Talon. Keyflow. Expedition to Newdale. Java. Cousins War. Forge War. Scout. City Builder Ancient World. The Gallerist. Icky. Stickum. Onitama, Evo, Spirium, Sabika, Space Alert, Key to the City of London, Summit the board game, Cartographers, Thunderstone Quest, Tricerian, The Crew, Legends Untold, Castles of Mad King Ludwig, Fabled Fruit, Dominion, Starship Catan, Hallertau, Scorpius Freighter, Mobile Markets, East Pahan, Isle of Cats, Twilight Squabble, Dungeon Scrawlers, King of the Elves, Pipeline, San Marco, Star Trek Expeditions, King is Dead, Traders of Osaka, Monster Expedition, Flick of Faith, Mystery House, Lancashire Railways, Catan card game, Lord of the Rings Confrontation, Fast Sloths, Deal with Devil, Mysterium, Watch, Concept, Founders of Gloomhaven, Nemo's War, Power Grid, Gears of War, Immortals, Giganton, Picamino, Panamax, Knights of Fire, Monumental, Dragonfire, Dice Settlers, Phantom the card game, Metropolis, Pocket Imperium, Tranquility, Trap Words, Pandemic, Suburbia, Suspects, Crossing Oceans, Grenland, Carcassonne. No, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to pick Quo Vadis instead of Carcassonne. Dimaka, Lords of Hellas, High Treason, Factory Fun, Conan, there. Pick Twilight Imperium. Let's pick Carcassonne. Let's pick Oh My Goods. Let's pick Dice Master Cities of Doom. Let's pick Caribbean. Carcassonne the Castle. Racing Tortoises, yep. Tuki. Swatch. Quarriors. Formula Motor Racing. Colossal Arena. Citadels. Really disappointed by Detective. Gonna pick in between. Long Live the Queen. Tide of Iron. Welcome Back to the Dungeon. Fire. Civilization. But Detective. Cryptid. Scepter von Zavandor. Red Alert Space Fleet Warfare. The Reef. Railway Rivals. Intrigue. Actually, to be honest, out of these two, I'd prefer to play Kings and Things. That's saying something. And what was that last one that we just did? Yeah, Lost Expedition. Yeah. Again, out of the two, it would be that one. And that one. And that one. And that one. But that one. Rainbow Rage. Telestrations. Gotta be more fun than Wizard's Quest. As is Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden. Flow of History. Walk of Out Mountain. Cosmic Encounter. Both games that I've had since the 80s. Let's go Wizard's Quest. Let's go War of the Ring for nostalgia reasons. Let's go Fury of Dracula. Let's go Robo Rally. Space Crusade. Chupacabra. Dungeon Quest. Corporate Shuffle. Shave a Sheep. And Container. Formula D. And Rage. And Zombie Dice. No, in fact, let's not pick Zombie Dice. Let's pick Superpower. Let's pick Hero Quest. Let's pick Rio de la Plata. Let's pick, yeah, again, we're bottom end of the scale. We're about to go back to the top, and at that point, I'm going to take a short break. It's going to have to be Zombie Dice. Neither of them. Neither of them. Go away, all of these games. I don't want these games. Yeah, they're both awful. Right, I'm going to take a short break. I'm just going to pop out. I'm going to blow my nose. I'll be back in about 30 seconds or a minute. But just before I do, just before I disappear, if you did want to use this as an opportunity to grab a stretch your legs break or grab a coffee, I just wanted to say, for those people who missed the start, big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. This was a goal. Doing these videos was a goal of my Patreon campaign. If I got to 800 Patreon supporters, I said I would do this. I had no idea it was going to take 12 hours, but I committed to doing this, and actually they've been a lot of fun. So a big thank you to everybody who's watching live, a big thank you to everybody who is watching afterwards. And as I say, if you are watching afterwards, just leave me a comment. Let me know the strangest decision that you've seen me make, or the most surprising decision. And I'm also really curious about some of these older games that I'm talking about, whether you've heard of them, played them, things like that. Because there's some really good games from 15, 20 years ago that now don't exist as far as most modern board gamers go. If you are in a position to be able to support me on Patreon, I do rely on the Patreon support in order to keep the channel going, like a lot of content creators. Not all of the work that I do is sponsored. In fact, about 50% of the videos that I create are not sponsored in any way. And that's what the Patreon support is for. So your Patreon support means that I can continue to carry on making videos, and you can support me at patreon.com/gaming rules. And there is a thread over on my guild, over on Board Game Geek. And if you're not a member of the guild on Board Game Geek, please join up. I've put a link to it in the chat. This is guild number 2258 on Board Game Geek. If you click join, and then you need to click subscribe. If you don't click subscribe, you won't ever see anything on there. And I started a thread this morning of some suggestions of what I should do when I get to 900 Patreon supporters. Now, I don't know when or if I will get to 900 Patreon supporters, but I kind of want a goal of, when I do get there, what am I going to do? And it needs to be something one-off, and it needs to be something fun and a little different, a bit like these have been. And I'm looking for ideas. What I'm not looking for is, play Mage Knight or something like that, because that's not something different and special. I mean, it would be special because I get to play Mage Knight. But yeah, I'm looking for some ideas of fun things, a little bit off the wall, a little bit like this was, and head on over to the guild. And is it working? Yes, the guild link is there. As I say, join, subscribe, and there is a post this morning which I made off opening up ideas for what to do when I got to 900 Patreon supporters. Anyway, I'm just going to take a short break. I'm going to have a mouthful of nuts, and I'm going to have a glass of water and stretch my legs. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. Things have changed. Has somebody been here while I was away? I think some things have moved around a bit. Probably Loki. Right. So we're back to the top. We're going to have some really difficult decisions coming in. Apologies, I'm still eating nuts. Oh, and a big thank you to Purple Dog and Aaron Throstle. I've had 2 new patron supporters since going live today, so thank you very much to you two. As I say, much appreciated. And your patron support allows me to carry on, basically keeping the channel going, paying for all of the stuff, buying new equipment and everything else. And to be fair, it's half of my salary now because of all of the Patreon content that I make. So yeah, really appreciate that. It's also my turn in the Carnegie game. We'll get to that later on. Right, so what's next? Where's the list? I've lost the list. There's the list. Right. Major Note or Frosthaven. Now, I'll be honest with you. We've not started playing the Frosthaven campaign yet, and we don't actually have any plans to. We want to, but we currently have no time to play games. I'd want to play it with Vicky, and we're already doing something on a regular basis. Frosthaven is going to be amazing. I know it's going to be amazing. It's like Gloomhaven, but just better. There's so many quality of life improvements. It is a better package and a better game than Gloomhaven, with a lot more going on. But it's not as good as Major Note. Is Frosthaven? Which one of these two would I prefer to play? Oh. I think Maracaibo is the one that I'd prefer to play. But Frosthaven is a legacy game. It's a campaign game. You get to level up your character. You get to take part in things. From a pure game point of view, I'm leaning towards Maracaibo. And again, this is me also resisting the urge. I don't want to knock any other content creators, but it is a common thing with a lot of content creators that we all jump on the bandwagon of the latest hot game that's come out and say, this is one of my favorite games. And you see this all the time. You see all of these marketing quotes used by publishers. Oh, such and such a content creator, you know, this game is going to straight away be in my top 10 of games. And I do the same. I absolutely do the same. You know, when I played Frostpunk for the first time and when I played Carnegie for the first time, I said, this is straight away in my top 10 games of the year. I do the same thing. But I find that a lot of content creators do have a lot of recency bias. And right now, I think most people would go with Frosthaven because it is the latest hotness, no pun intended, and it is fantastic, and it is just a massive epic game. Oh, this I can't decide. I can't decide. Help, help, help. Close your eyes and press that left arrow. Yeah, that's a very good point, Mike. As I mentioned earlier on, Maracaibo, with the expansions included in it, suddenly I've got an experience that I can tailor to whatever I want. Do I want to play competitive? Do I want to play cooperative? Do I want to play a campaign? I mean, it's not really a campaign like Frosthaven is. You're not leveling up your character, but it's a good storyline. I don't want to do this anymore. I've decided this is a bad idea, and it's only going to get worse. We are going to get some more painful decisions later on in this video. And I said to Vicky that I'm not going to stop today until I'm finished. And if I spend 5 minutes on each of these, we're going to be here till midnight. I can't do this. Oh God, this is so hard. I'm going to go with Maracaibo, and I'm really not sure about this. This one, though, I'm going to go with Frosthaven. I think the narrative in Arkham Horror is better, but mechanically, Frosthaven is much better. Feast for Odin. Don't have to build a deck. Less random element. No stories, obviously, but Feast for Odin. Arkham Horror or Caverna? Again, from a pure enjoyment point of view, Caverna, but from an experience point of view, Arkham Horror. So I'm going to give it to Caverna. Carnegie is more my style of game. Carnegie is just genius. I'm going to pick that one. But this is an interesting one, and I thought this might happen at some point. Both living card games, both from Fantasy Flight Games, both games that I absolutely love, but I'm going to give it to Marvel Champions. Even though it's a series of standalone games without any real narrative, and Arkham Horror is all about the story and the experience and the narrative and the way that it works as a game, Marvel Champions. Assyria or Arkham Horror? I can't believe how low Arkham Horror is falling on this list, because it is one of my favourite games and I absolutely love it. Do I put Assyria above Arkham Horror? No, I think we've reached the point where I'm not comfortable not voting for Arkham Horror now. Star Wars Outer Rim, definitely. Marrakesh or Assyria? Marrakesh. Anachrony or Assyria? Anachrony. I need to play Assyria again. It's been too long since I played Assyria. But I'm going to pick it over Perseverance. Ouch. I'm also going to pick Trajan, I think. Am I going to pick Trajan? Yes. I'm going to pick ISS Vanguard on this one. Frostpunk or Perseverance? It's going to be Frostpunk. It's going to be... Oh, I was going to go for Gentis, but actually, I do really enjoy Perseverance. I think I prefer Gentis. Again, I'm surprised at how... I would have thought Perseverance would be super, super high, but I'm actually picking a lot of things instead of it. Out of these two... See, the thing is with Lost Ruins of Arnak, Lost Ruins of Arnak is a massively popular game. One of CGE's biggest hits, biggest titles. And I love the game, and I'm friends with the designers. But ultimately, it's just a load of icons. There's a theme on there, but all the cards are just that icon and two of those icons. Oh, right, I'll do that and that. What do I now do? Oh, I'll now spend those things to move up on a track. And when you boil it all down to its basics, but then again, so's Perseverance. Put a dice on a space, there's an icon. What does that mean? Get this. Spend that, do something else. A lot of Euro games are like that, but Arnak is a little bit like Endless Winter. I was thinking about this morning. Arnak and Endless Winter are ultimately just cards with icons on. Endless Winter more so. At least Arnak has some text on the cards, which does some extra stuff. Anyway, back to the... Which one of those? I mean, Lost Ruins of Arnak with expansion. Yeah, I'm going to go Arnak. Imperial Steam or Perseverance? Perseverance. Imperial Steam or Teotihuacan? Teotihuacan. Netrunner or Imperial Steam? Netrunner. Terraforming Mars or Imperial Steam? Yeah. Imperial Steam is very good. But I think I enjoy playing Terraforming Mars more so. think Imperial Steam is the better game, though. Gonna go Terraforming Mars. Gonna go Imperial Steam. Gonna go Rococo. I'm much more comfortable with these middle decisions. It's the ones at the very top that make me uncomfortable. Aeon's End. High Rise. Yeah, if we're talking about games with no theme, with just icons, Coimbra is one of them. Vinhos. And it's a great game, it's Coimbra. Ashes, Reborn. Coimbra. Amerigo. Amun-Re. Madeira. Kanban-Evi. Sky Mines. Ark Nova or Uthria? It's Ark Nova. Well, not by much, to be fair. Uthia or Unlock? I mean, we love the Unlock series of adventures, and in fact, me and Vicky this morning have just finished testing the last adventure in a new series of 6 short adventures that are due out later this year. So they're releasing 6, what are they called, short adventures. They're going to be sold individually in small boxes, 30 cards each, take about 45 minutes each. And we've just finished testing the last one this morning. I think the experiences that I've had from the Unlock series over the years is more than Uthia. Princess of Florence. Uthia. Boone Lake. Stourford Dynasty. Letterjam. Lacrimosa. Attica. Bitoku. Luna. Sherlock Holmes. Under Falling Skies. Ooh. Traders of Genoa. With a House Rule. Ride the Rails. Bonfire. I do like Merlin. We'll go Merlin. Tapestry or Paris? I'm going to go Tapestry. Hamburgum. It's probably Endless Winter. I mean, Paris is such a clean design. I mean, it is a dry, boring Euro. I think Endless Winter is more enjoyable. War Chest. Love War Chest. Merv. Age of Industry. Heroes of Terrinoth. Alubari. Barrage. Magnastorm. Super Skill Pinball. Burn Cycle. All right, here we go. Tilatum. I'm going to say Amiitis, even though I've not played it in 10 or 15 years. I remember it being really good. Paris. Zhanguo. Let's say Amsterdam. Let's say Macau. Let's say Too Many Bones. Anno 1800. Endeavour. Viscounts or Age of Steam? Probably Viscounts. I've got nuts stuck in my teeth. That's why I'm doing this. Age of Steam. Time Stories. Aquasphere. Octopuses. Battle Lore or Terraforming Mars? Probably Terraforming Mars. I mean, I enjoy Battle Lore. I've painted all of the miniatures for it, and it looks great on the table. Ultimately, you're rolling a whole bunch of dice. It's lots of dice rolling. But I enjoy it. It's the best one, I believe, in the Command and Colours series, of which I've tried a few. Memoir 44, Red Alert, Space Fleet Warfare, and Battle Lore. Battle Lore, I think, is the best one. Would I prefer to play that over Navigator? Yes, I would. And Black Angel. And Hamburg. Elysium or Navigator? Let's go Elysium. Not played it in ages. Let's go Tabanusi. Let's go Miyabi. Let's go Vindication. Let's go Puerto Rico. Alhambra. I have a house rule for Alhambra as well. Australia. Brass Lancashire. Navigator. Revive. Press the wrong button there. I meant to say them all. Third on Taxes. Solid game. Solid game. Asgard over Fayum. Probably Fayum. Out of these two, problem with Asgard is getting it to the table and learning how the Ragnarok battle works and then understanding that before you then actually play the game. That's the problem with it. Whereas Agricola, I'm tempted to go Agricola, but I have issues with Agricola. I'm still going to go Agricola. Kahuna. Homesteaders. Tindaya. Masters of Renaissance. Mercator. Space Base. Ming Voyages. Given the choice, assuming I know both games, I would prefer to play Asgard, I think. And Scylla. Probably Escape Plan. Maharaja. Bruges. Mexico. Keyforge. Welcome to Centerville. Atiwa. Keyflower. Agra. Kingdom Builder. Both Vladimir Suhi games. Let's go Praga. Let's go Hermagor. Let's go Alien Frontiers. Symphony number 9. League of Six is really good. I'm just not getting to that point yet. Solar Storm, Battlestar Galactica. Again, 2 Vladimir Suhi games. Let's go Messina. And another 2 Vladimir Suhi games. It does like comparing his games against each other. North American Railways. Ra or League of Six. I think I'd actually prefer to play League of Six. And I think I'd prefer to play Ra than Istanbul. And I'd prefer to play Helvetia than Istanbul. And Paladins of the West Kingdom. And Project L. And Bus. And Brick and Mortar. And Legacy. And Starship Captains. And the Adventure Games. And Blue Moon City. And Arctic Scavengers. And Three Kingdoms Redux. And Micro Macro. And Tikal. And Lord of the Rings card game. Hamlet. Flotilla. Yep, So You've Been Eaten. Trails of Tucana. It's like I hate Istanbul. I don't. Stone Age with average dice is a different game. I would never play Stone Age without the average dice. But I think it's still the better game. Out of these two, though, I didn't get that well on with Space Race. It was the card play that I found a bit confusing. I'll go Istanbul. Go Mini Express. Go Ragusa. Go Tiny Towns. Roll for the Galaxy. Pavlov's House. Splendor Marvel. Mini Rails. Jorvik. Signorie. Paranormal Detectives. Tybor the Builder. Seven Wonders. Industrial Waste. Troyer's Dice. Bonanza. Yokohama Duel. Splendor Duel. Right, we're almost there. Space Race over Winter Kingdom. No, quite liked Winter Kingdom. And Mesopotamia. I think I'd prefer to play Space Race than Baseball Highlights, though. Now, 504 or Baseball Highlights. I think 504. And I have issues with Seventh Continent. But as an enjoyable experience, I think more so. Mindbug or Baseball Highlights? Baseball Highlights. Aleph Null. Tigris and Euphrates. The card game. Yes. It's really good. I've not played it in like 15, 20 years. Town Centre. Mindbug or Pictomania? Let's go Pictomania, actually. They're both fun. Let's go Magnate. Let's go Copenhagen. Let's go Pictures. Dominant Species Marine. Terracotta Army. Now then. 2-player games. And if anybody's watching this who likes chess and likes 2-player games, if you're local, remind me. I'll lend you Proteus. Or if you're coming to GridCon and you want to try it, just remind me before GridCon to bring Proteus with me. It's a really clever game. Really, really clever. And if you like chess, yeah, I'd definitely try it. I'm going to pick Mindbug. But I was close on that one. I'm going to pick Adrenaline. Merchants of the Middle Ages. Frontier Wars. Out of these two, probably 8-Minute Empire Legends. Edelstein and Reich. Probably Primordial Soup. Probably Trains. I want to play Trains again. As long as the people playing it will accept my house rule. Let's go Wealth of Nations. Let's go Sniper Elite. Big, epic 4 to 6 hour Space 4X game or 2-player chess game with dice. To be honest, I'd prefer to play Proteus. Because as I say, I've got issues with Eclipse now. So, Word Slam. No, we'll go there. Yeah. Stars of Karios. Batman Gotham City Chronicles. Lost Valley. I need to dig Lost Valley out of the attic. Has anybody heard of Lost Valley? That's the next game that I want to ask people. Whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this back afterwards, let me know if you've heard of and or played Lost Valley. Have a look at it on BGG. My copy is in the attic. I got the German version from Essen, and I really like the idea of it. And I remember playing it loads. And thematically, I think it's great. I don't remember that much about it, other than I've got the German version and I had to help, find answers for things. But yeah, let me know. Yeah, most people haven't heard of it. I didn't think so. Antike or Herbaceous? Probably Herbaceous. Probably Augsburg. Power Grid Factory Manager. Fortress. Antike. Last Will. Priest of Ra. Keeper. Medieval Merchant. Erland. Among the Stars. Merchants of Venus. Flake Fleet, to be honest. Trans Europa. Which one would I prefer to play? Acquire. Just because Tashkalar requires a kind of brain that I don't have. Luxe Turner. Ostia. But I would prefer to play Tashkalar than Tigris and Euphrates. And Android, if it worked. Fedoran Gardens, Between Two Cities, Canterbury, Lost Cities, Wildlands with the fixes, Small City with the fixes, Tempest, Kingdom Rush, Castle for All Seasons, Imperial, Magnum Sal, Hansa, East, Tigris and Euphrates, Pendulum, wow, Point Salad, Bottle Imp, Didn't get on with either of these games. Think Streets. Think Mandala Stones. Probably Mercado de Lisboa. Magna Graecia. Import-Export. Again, how can you compare these two games? Let's go fast forward. Apples to Apples. Descent. Diesel Demolition Derby. Watson and Holmes. 2038. Alexandria. Fierabend. Assembly. Jetpack Joyride. Judge Dredd Helter Skelter. Bridges of Shangri-La. El Caballero. Battle Cars. Tokyo Washi Game Cats. Wibble Plus Plus. Out of these two, probably steal this game. We're down at the bottom now. Oh, look, 6 Nimt or Take 5. 6 Nimt. Rogue Trooper for nostalgia reasons. March of Progress. Sherlock 13. Blockmania. Bureau of Investigation. Take 5. Patchwork. Anno 1503. I'm not saying The Resistance is not a good game. It triggers a lot of my anxiety issues, and I can't play it anymore because just puts me in a very uncomfortable situation to the point where I just don't want to play it. So it's not going to get any vote. It's going to get downvoted amongst pretty much anything else because I just can't do it. Yeah, there's a lot of games down here that I've been rating down. Awful Green Things from Outer Space. That could be a funny stream that I did when I get to 900 Patreon supporters. Didn't get on with Inhabit the Earth, but I'd probably still prefer to play that. As I would Rock Paper Wizard, as I would Timeline Discoveries, as I would Microfilms, as I would Xbugs. And out of these two, I probably would prefer to play that, and I'd prefer to play... I mean, this is silly, because The Resistance is a really good game, but given the choice, Talisman is so bad. But at least it doesn't... Okay, yeah, it doesn't trigger those issues. Let's pick Talisman. Wow. Yeah, it looks like The Resistance is actually going to be right down at the bottom of my list. Oh no, we got Sensor Ghost, which has a memory element. I'm just rubbish at it, but I'd still prefer to play that than Resistance. Right, now, just before this stream started today, I was talking with Vicky downstairs, and I said, I am dreading the moment when I get forced to choose between Mage Knight and Spirit Island. And here we are. So I've already thought about this, and I haven't made a decision. And for those people who don't know, Mage Knight has been my #1 game of all time since it came out, which was when? 2012? Was Mage Knight 2012? I mean, I was working at the university when it came out, and I left there 9 years ago. So it probably was 2012. I didn't drop Spirit Island easy earlier. It was not easy. It is still going to be Mage Knight. Yeah, it is still going to be Mage Knight. But there is no... I mean, Spirit Island is my favourite cooperative game of all time. Spirit Island is so good, it's painful. 2011. Thank you, Paul. So 12 years ago, this year, it's going to be Mage Knight. And I'm not just saying that because it's Mage Knight and therefore it's, you know, I'm stuck in the Mage Knight is my #1 game of all time. I have thought about this. And they're both puzzle style games in, right, I've got these cards, here's the situation. what am I going to do? Mage Knight is a bit more, okay, now I need to progress to the next stage, whereas Spirit Island is you're being attacked from all sides, and it's a constant stress and constant pressure of fighting against adversity. Whereas Mage Knight is very much a, right, I've beaten up that monster, where shall I go next? And it's your choice to go to the next bit and have the next fight. I think Spirit Island is probably the better puzzle game, but out of the two, I'm going to go with Mage Knight. Have we not had this matchup before? I thought we had this matchup earlier on. Maracaibo and Spirit Island. Right. I'm definitely not on mute. I'm definitely not on mute. Other people can hear me. Maracaibo or Spirit Island? I'm going to go with Spirit Island. These two games are pretty much equal for me, but I have had some amazing experiences playing Spirit Island. It also must be said that there is an app for both of these games, and the app is fantastic. Now, the app for Maracaibo is only the base game of Maracaibo. Doesn't have the Uprising expansion in there, whereas the Spirit Island app does have Branch and Claw. It doesn't have all of the expansions, but it has some of them. And the Spirit Island app is very, very good. But the Maracaibo one is very, very good as well. So if you're interested in either of these games, they both have apps available. And it's going to be Spirit Island. I have had some amazing games of Spirit Island. I've had some terrible games as well, but let's go with Spirit Island. It would be painful for me not to pick Maracaibo, because as a Euro gamer, Maracaibo is definitely more for me. Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth is a great experience. It's a great game. I love playing it. But ultimately, some of the things are press some buttons in an app and it randomly generates stuff and then you do some random stuff. The story, the narrative, the experience of playing Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth, for me, is probably more enjoyable than Maracaibo. But I think Maracaibo is the better game. It all depends what I'm voting here. Am I voting on which do I think is the best game? Which is one would I prefer to play? Which is the most enjoyable? All of that sort of thing. I'm going to go Maracaibo. I said these videos have been a lot of fun, and I've been really enjoying these videos, and I was dreading part 3 because I knew that we were going to have some things like this thrown at me. And for those people who don't know me, I take everything in life way too seriously. I can't ever just have fun at doing something. So therefore, this is not just, oh, it doesn't matter, Paul, it's fun. This is killing me. This is hurting. Oh my God. Bearing in mind, I've played Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth 25, 30 times. I've played Frosthaven once. But that doesn't matter because I've played Gloomhaven 50 or 60 times and I know Frosthaven like the back of my hand because I worked on the rules. I worked on the video for it. So I already know, even though I've only played Frosthaven once, I already know exactly how much I'm going to enjoy it. And how good it is. It's going to Frosthaven. I need to go and sit in a dark corner and cry. And it's only going to get worse. Oh dear. Feast for Odin or Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. Please let this stop. I hope people are enjoying watching me having to go through this because this is starting to become not enjoyable for me. Feast for Odin or Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth? Now, I mentioned earlier on that I do use a house rule for Feast for Odin. I don't. I think the game is just amazing. It's 99% perfect. And then you get this random draw and occupation that might be good, might be bad. So I basically have a short display of cards. And you can always take one off the top of the deck if you want to, but at least you've got a bit of choice. That's the only thing I change in the game. Again, it's different experiences. At least the last one, Frosthaven and Lord of the Rings, were two campaign games that you can't just play once, and that your character develops and evolves and there's a story and everything else. These two, one is just, there you go, there's a Euro game. Or, here's a great game with story, narrative, and it's so well done. Fantasy Flight Games have done an amazing job. The figure quality is brilliant, the stories are great, the writing is good, the app is fantastic, the artwork, everything about Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. It's an almost perfect game. Can't do this. I'm going to go Lord of the Rings Journeys Middle-earth. Ask me tomorrow and I'd make a different decision. Right, okay. Now a nice easy choice. Feast for Odin or Through the Ages. Again, as I mentioned earlier on, for me, I am not classing that as just Through the Ages, the board game. Rightly or wrongly, I am classing that as the whole package, which includes the app, which includes the solo mode and all of the solo challenges and everything else. I mean, these two are top 10 games for me. Everything that we've had in the last 5 minutes has been top 10 for me. Okay. I have been saying for years that Through the Ages is my second favourite game of all time behind Mage Knight. That's what I've been saying for years. But I enjoy playing Feast for Odin more than I enjoy playing Through the Ages. So, Feast for Odin. Caverna or Through the Ages? I've been talking about Caverna recently. Okay. I really, really enjoy Caverna, but I'm going Through the Ages on this one. Caverna or Great Western Trail? Great Western Trail. Caverna or Underwater Cities? Caverna. Carnegie or Underwater Cities? Oh! Try to forget the recency bias, Paul. Both are great games. If you only own 2 games in your entire collection, and these are those 2 games, you should be happy. Except you should then go out and buy Mage Knight. I think Carnegie is the better game. Marvel Champions or Underwater Cities? Again, both top 10 for me. Well, is Underwater Cities a top 10 game? Not sure. But Marvel Champions. People always wonder what you'd do if you won £1 million in the lottery. So I don't do the lottery. But if I did the lottery and I won £1 million, I would probably give half of it to Rick so that he could give up his job and come round and play Marvel Champions with me 3 days a week. Whereas I wouldn't pay anybody to come round and play Underwater Cities with me 3 days a week. So Marvel Champions it is. mechanically, Underwater Cities for me every day of the week. But Arkham Horror has been an amazing experience, and I hate the fact that I'm currently not playing Arkham Horror the card game, and I haven't covered it on the channel in the last year. So it's Arkham Horror. £1 million, 10,000 new games. No, I'm definitely not buying 10,000 new games. Star Wars Outer Rim or Underwater Cities? Now, I cannot fight this emotional response that I have whenever I see Star Wars Outer Rim. Because every time I play it, I just love it. I tell you what, if there was an app for Star Wars Outer Rim that I could play solo, I'd be having a lot more days off sick in bed. I think we need to do another solo playthrough of Star Wars Outer Rim on the channel. But Underwater Cities is so good a game. And as I say, at the moment, I'm watching so much Star Wars on TV that my brain's in a Star Wars mood. I'm going to go Star Wars Outer Rim. I think Star Wars Outer Rim is a great game, and I think it's extremely thematic. I think Underwater Cities is a great game, but I think it has no theme. Marrakesh over Underwater Cities. Marrakesh. Just. An acrony or an acrony. Anachrony over Underwater Cities. Anachrony. Assyria. I need to get Assyria out. I keep rating it highly from a memory from like 10 years ago. Trajan over Underwater Cities. So I've rated Marrakesh higher than Underwater Cities. What about Trajan? So as much as I like Trajan, given the choice, I think I'd play Underwater Cities. Cloudspire or Trajan? Cloudspire. Kalis. Oh, we're in the sweet spot of Euros that I love. Pillars of the Earth. I don't know between these two. I would literally need to play both of them one after the other and then go, that was my favourite one. I'm leaning towards Crown of Amara, but I cannot forget just how good Trajan is. And Trajan works at all player counts as well. Whereas Castles of Burgundy doesn't. Sorry if you think it does. It doesn't. I don't know. I really don't know about this. This is a future question for another time. Trajan or Crown of Amara. Right now, I'm going to go Trajan. Again, Crown of Amara is probably the better game in terms of mechanical, design, balanced, and all of that stuff. ISS Vanguard is very much a story-based, campaign-driven system. But I'm going to go with ISS Vanguard because I can't wait to play it. Same with Frostpunk. Same with Gentis. And Lost Ruins of Arnak. Perseverance. Now, out of these two, I think Teotihuacan. But out of these two, I'm probably going to go Crown of Amara. I'm going to go Aura et Labora. I'm going to go Cooper Island. Back to quick decisions again. Nippon. Pulsar 2849. Royal Palace. Concordia. Gloomhaven. Heat, Pedal to the Metal. You cannot deny how good Netrunner is. I'm going to go with Netrunner on this one. Terraforming Mars. Imperial Steam. Rococo. Aeon's End, High Rise, Vinyos, Ashes, Yokohama, Russian Railroads, Newton. Star Wars Destiny it's like the rogue element. It just keeps popping up now and again, here and there. But I think every time I've been choosing Star Wars Destiny, and yet it's not at the top of the list. But I love it. And I don't have many. I've got like 3 or 4 packs of Star Wars Destiny, and that's it. And it's a dead game now. You can't get it anymore. Taj Mahal or Coimbra? Taj Mahal. First Class. Kalis. Ooh. Ooh. Right now, for me, Victorum. Via Nebula. Also, I think Via Nebula has won everything that I've put it up against. La Granja. There's a Portuguese connection to both of these games. Which one? On Mars. Tolkien. Flamme Rouge. In the Year of the Dragon. And again, Just One and So Clover have won every single vote that I've put them up against. And yet they're not showing up in the top. Just One. Come Together. Oh, I think Coimbra. I think Amerigo. I think I'm in Ray. Both games from What's Your Game? Madeira. Kanban EV. Sky Mines. I want to play Sky Mines again. Definitely want to play Sky Mines like a lot more. Arc Nova. Unlock. Princess of Florence. Euthea. Boone Lake. Stanford Dynasty. From a memory that it's really good. Letter Jam. Or Railroad Revolution. Letter Jam. I've only played Lacrimosa the once. It was very good. I'm going to go with Railroad Revolution this time. And I'm going to go with Red Cathedral just because I've only played it the once. Lacrimosa. Space Corp. Golden Ages. Forum Trajanum. Le Havre. Tippecanoe. Okay, now So Clover is fantastic and really good and one of my favourite party games of all time. Would I prefer to play that over Attica? Attica is such a solid game. Yes, I would. Because I'm all about the fun. Attica or Dead Reckoning? Dead Reckoning. Terra Mystica. Lisboa. Orleans. Cuba. Glenmore 2. Nussfjord. Attica. Bitoku. Luna. Sherlock Holmes. Under Falling Skies. Trays of Genoa. Ride the Rails. Although, no. Let's just undo that. I'm going to go Colonia instead. Ride the Rails or the Magnificent. I like both of these games. They're both in the kind of 7.5, 8 out of 10 category. Gonna go Ride the Rails. Because there's other maps that shake it up a bit. Bonfire. Merlin. Tapestry. Hamburgum. Endless Winter. War Chest. or War Cheese as I call it. Merv. Magnificent. I need to play Oathsworn more, don't I? Yeah, I think I'll give this one to Oathsworn. Ooh. Let's go for Ultra Adventure. Let's go for Lasita. Let's go for Flamecraft. Chronicles of Crime. The Exit Games. Unfathomable. Shipyard. Capital Lux 2. Mycarinos. Notre Dame. Ingenious. Age of Industry. Heroes of Terrinoth. Alibari. Barrage. Magnastorm. Oh, yeah, Super Skill Pinball. It's a lot more fun. Burn Cycle. Teletum. Amiitis. Excuse me. Paris. Zhangguo. Amsterdam. Macau. Too Many Bones. Anno 1800. Endeavour. It seems like I hate Hansa Teutonica, and I don't. Do I really like Viscounts of the West Kingdom? I found that there was a bit too much going on. I think I still prefer it. And Age of Steam. And Time Stories. And Aquasphere. But this one, yeah, Terraform Mars Ares, Battle Law, sorry, Hansa Teutonica. And Black Angel. But Hansa Teutonica beats Hamburg. As does Furnace. Hamburg beats Free Ride, I think. As does Elysium. As does Tabanusi. As does Miyabi. As does Vindication. And Puerto Rico. Free Ride is really good, by the way. Friedman Freezer game from a couple of years ago. I think I talked about it in my top 10. I think it was an honourable mention. Australia. Brass Lancashire. Navigador. Revive. Amul. Thurn and Taxes. 2 Freedom and Freezer games. I think Fayum. Even though I've only played it twice. Agricola or Free Ride? Let's go Agricola. Let's go Kahuna. Homesteaders. Tindaya. Masters of Renaissance. Mercator. We're going to get to a point where I prefer to play Free Ride. Space Base. Ming Voyages. Asgard. Scylla. Come on. Free Ride. Ultramare or Escape Plan? Ultramare. Golem. Codenames Pictures or Escape Plan. It's going to have to be Codenames Pictures, I'm afraid. In the Shadow of the Emperor. Crystal Palace. Lancaster. Castles of Burgundy. Dominant Species. Dungeon Lords. Rebuilding Seattle. Key Market. Undaunted Stalingrad. Snowdonia. Excuse me. Snowdonia Dungeon Pets. Chocolate Factory. Origins First Builders. Rialto. Tainted Grail. The Crew. Il Principe. Zapotec. Cocapelli. On the Underground. Wow. Championship Formula Racing. Rise of Empires. Crisis. Sorry, Escape Plan. Discoveries. Palaces of Carrara, Cloud Age. This is another, I can feel the number of followers leaving me. Legends of Andor, or you might agree with me. I mean, I know that Escape Plan is one of his least popular titles. I know that. It's probably his least popular game. So I don't feel so bad about rating it down. It's just what I'm rating it down against. I'm rating it down against much lesser games. Mermies, New York City, Watergate. Rush MD, better than I expected. Galaxy Trucker, I think, is really good. Civilization game. Mage Wars Academy. Codenames. Sidereal Confluence. Pathfinder Adventure card game. Honshu. Cerebria. We're going to get to a point. Warhammer Quest. Communai. Sierra West. We are going to get to a point where Escape Plan is going to win. It's just how far down is it going to go? La Isla. Caelus Magna Carta. Oracle of Delphi. Cubitos. Cavum. Right, we're almost there, I think, now. We've found the spot where it's going to sit. I think Days of Ire. I think Imperium Classics. I think Codenames Duet. I think Prodigal's Club. I think Planet Steam. Rakeholt. Escape Plan, finally. Maharaja. Bruges. Mexico. Coloma. Charterstone. Oh. Keyforge. Sure. Welcome to Centerville. Atiwa. Keyflower. Agra. Kingdom Builder. Ooh, Praga. Permagor. I'm not that big of a fan of Robinson Crusoe. I think the rulebook's very good. Wink, wink. But yeah, and I think I respect the game, and I've had good fun playing it. But I find that win or lose is not as much under my control as I would like. Then again, I've been playing Frostpunk. So Alien Frontiers. Symphony Number 9. Solar Storm. Battlestar Galactica. Messina 1347. 20th Century. North American Railways. League of Six. Ra. Helvetia. Paladins of the West Kingdom. Project L. It seems to be updating my list a lot. Okay, we're now at this point. It's going to be Robinson Crusoe. Just because I can't get my head round Bus. I've tried. It's a great game and I'm happy to teach it. Pizarro & Co. Woodcraft. Carpe Diem. Weather Machine. For Sale. Throne of Allegoria. Played once and I keep voting for it because I want to play it again. World Without End. War of the Ring, the card game. Olympos. Escape Tales, Futuropia, Splendor, Venice, Gumshoe. I say Gumshoe, I've never really played it, to be honest. I tried when I was 15, and I've been wanting to go back to it for 37 years, and still not managed to get back to it yet. Gumshoe is the #1 game on my bucket list. If I die not having played Gumshoe, I will be very, very unhappy. And yeah, I know exactly what I just said. Noria. Roads and Boats. Mystic Vale. Mystic Vale over Bus. Yeah, just because I can't get my head around Bus. But I think I prefer Bus to Vasco da Gama. And Brick and Mortar. And Legacy. And Starship Captains, even after just one play. And Adventure Games and Blue Moon City. And Arctic Scavengers. And Three Kingdoms Redux. Micro Macro. Tikal. Lord of the Rings? Sure. Hamlet. Flotilla, So You've Been Eaten, Trails of Tucana, Stone Age, Istanbul, Mini Express, Ragusa, quite like Ragusa, Tiny Towns, Roll for the Galaxy, Pavlov's House, Splendor Marvel, Mini Rails, Jorvik. Here we go. 2 games from What's Your Game again. Signoria, I think. Paranormal Detectives, I think. Tybor the Builder. 7 Wonders. Industrial Waste. Troyer's Dice. Bonanza. Yokohama Duel. Splendid Duel. Winter Kingdom. Mesopotamia. I don't even remember when Mesopotamia. You have these little cylinders, wooden cylinders that represent your workers. And when you got stone and wood, and when you pick it up, you actually put it on the cylinder and it carries it around. That's all I remember about it. And it's got hexes. But I think Vasco da Gama and Space Race, and Clash of Cultures, and Dragon Castle, and Nautilus, and Ultra, and Ponzi Scheme, and Talon, and Keyflow, Expedition to Newdale, Java, Cousins War, Forge War, just wish it was shorter, Scout, City Builder, The Gallerist, Icky, Stickum, Onitama, Evo, Spirium, Sabika, Space Alert, Key to the City of London, Summit, Cartographers, Thunderstone Quest. No, hang on. I'm going to go Space Race with this one. Oh. I really want to like Thunderstone Quest, but do I like it more than 504? Yeah, I think I do. And Tricerian. And The Crew. And Legends Untold. And Castles of Madkin Ludwig. And Fabled Fruit. And Dominion. Starship Catan. Hallertau. Scorpius Freighter. Mobile Markets. East Pahan. Isle of Cats. Twilight Squabble. Dungeon Scrollers, King of the Elves, Pipeline, San Marco, Star Trek Expeditions, I think, King is Dead, Traders of Osaka, Monster Expedition, 504, Seventh Continent, Baseball Highlights, Aleph Null, Tigris and Euphrates card game, Town Centre, ooh, Flicky Game or Drawing Game. Let's go Flicky Game. Let's go Mystery House. Let's go Lancashire Railways. Let's go Catan card game. Lord of the Rings Confrontation. Yep. Fast Sloths. Pictomania is very clever. Very simple. Very clever. Let's go Deal with the Devil. Let's go Mysterium. Let's go Pictomania. Let's go Magnate. Let's go Copenhagen. Let's go Pictures. Dominant Species Marine. Terracotta Army. Let's go Watch. Concept. Founders of Gloomhaven. Nemo's War. Power Grid. Gears of War. Immortals. Even though I played once and didn't like it. Still got it. Giganton. Mindbug. Adrenaline. Merchants of the Middle Ages, Frontier Wars, 8-Minute Empire Legends, Edelstein and Reich, Primordial Soup, Trains, Wealth of Nations, Sniper Elite, Proteus, Word Slam, Eclipse, Stars of Icarios, Batman, Lost Valley, Herbaceous, Augsburg, Power Grid Factory Manager, Fast Forward Fortress, Anti-K, Last Will, Priests of Ra, Keeper, Medieval Merchant. Wow. Heckmech is falling down the rankings, isn't it? Erland, Among the Stars, Merchants of Venus, Flick Fleet, Trans Europa, Acquire, Lux Aeterna, Ostia, Tashkalar or Heckmech. Let's go for the worms. Panamax, Knights of Fire, Monumental, Dragonfire, Dice Settlers, Phantom Card Game. And again, this is no knock on Tashkalar. It's just not one that I'm very good at in terms of my brain not working the right way. Then again, it doesn't for Metropolis. Pocket Imperium, Tranquility. Both games from CGE. Let's go trap words. Let's go Pandemic. I really wish I could play Tashkalar, but I'm just terrible at it. Like really, really terrible. I was part of the playtesting team for it, and I was just getting beaten like 9-0, 10-1. It's just embarrassing. It showed that there was a massive amount of skill in the game, and I didn't have it. Suspects. Crossing Oceans. Grenaland. Quo Vadis. Dimaka. Lords of Hellas. Look at that progress bar. High Treason. Factory Fun. Conan. But out of these two, I think I'd prefer to play Tashkalar because it's not going to take 8 hours. Twilight Imperium. Again, if Android worked as a game, it could have been one of the best games ever. And it was just massively, massively flawed. Oh. Last 30 minutes, do you think? I hope so. And then we'll be done. What time did I start today? 2 o'clock. What time is it now? 5. So we've been at it for 3 hours. Yeah. I'm going to go Android for what it could have been. Verdoran Gardens. Between Two Cities. Canterbury. Lost Cities. Lost Cities or Carcassonne? Lost Cities. Wildlands, again, as long as you don't use the actual rules included. Small City. Tempest. Kingdom Rush. Castle for All Seasons. Imperial. Magnum Sal. Hansa. And that's Hansa. It's not Hansa Teutonica. It's Hansa. Different game. Really good. East. Tigris and Euphrates. Pendulum. I'm not a Carcassonne fan, as you can tell. Bottle Imp. Streets. Mandala Stones. Mercado de Lisboa. Magna Grecia. Import Export. Fast Forward Fortune. Apples to Apples. But given the choice, no, Descent's more my kind of game, even if it does take 8 hours. Diesel Demolition Derby, Watson and Holmes, 2038, Alexandria, Furibend, Assembly, Jetpack Joyride, Judge Dredd, Helter Skelter, Bridges of Shangri-La, El Caballero. Sure, Battle Cars, Washi Game Cats, Wibble++, Steal This Game, Six Nimmt. Right, Rogue Trooper or Carcassonne. To be honest, I'd love to play Rogue Trooper again, but it takes all day and it's totally random. So, Carcassonne. Oh my goods. Dice Masters. Caribbean. Carcassonne the Castle. Racing Tortoises, Tukey, Swatch, Warriors, Formula Motor Racing, Colossal Arena, and Fergtunt Ardle in between, Long Live the Queen, Tide of Iron, Welcome Back to the Dungeon, Fire, Civilization, Detective, Cryptid, Scepter von Zavendor, even though it's too long, Red Alert Space Fleet Warfolk, completely random. Yeah, The Reef, Railway Rivals, Intrigue, Kings and Things, Lost Expedition, Classic Warlord, Federation Commander, Goblins Inc., Sherlock, Fire and Stone, Rainbow Rage, Illustrations, Mr. Cabbagehead's Garden, Flow of History. We're down at the bottom again now. Warlock of Far Top Mountain. That was the other thing that I was thinking about to celebrate getting to 900 patron supporters. Play Warlock of Far Top Mountain, the board game. I have a copy in the attic. It is severely water damaged, and I don't know if all of the components are inside. Cosmic Encounter. Out of those two, Wizard's Quest. Rogue Trooper. March of Progress. Sherlock 13. Blockmania. Bureau of Investigation. Hornoshan Patchwork. Anno 1503. Welcome to Dino World. Axes and Allies. Torres. Mayscape. D&D Onslaught. Andromeda. Samurai Swords. I probably should get rid of those copies of Samurai Swords. I'm never going to play it again. Outpost. Alchemists. Age of Exploration. Stevenson's Rocket. Pocket Mars. Awful Green Things from Outer Space. Inhabit the Earth. Rock Paper Wizard. Timeline Discoveries. Microfilms. X-Bugs. Hacker Deluxe. Talisman. Sure. War of the Ring. Fury of Dracula. Robo Rally. Space Crusade. Chupacabra. We're down at the bottom again, aren't we? Dungeon Quest. I don't even remember Liege. It's probably a good game. Can't remember. Played it once in 2006 in the hotel at Essen when I got it, and I've never played it since. And it was a 2-player game from Czech Game. Well, before they were Czech Games Edition. I don't know. Shave the Sheep. It's got Lego in it. Container. Formula D. I don't know. Rage. Liege. Double or Superpower? Let's play Double. Sensor Ghost or Superpower? Yes. The Resistance. Kremlin. Epic Card Game. Beastie Boys. When's it going to go back to the top? It's got to go back to the top at some point, because we're down at the bottom now with the dregs. Like the real dregs. Sorry, Innerbind. You're not a dreg. You just, you know, not my kind of game. We're done. Wow, it's finished. Well, that crept up on me. Wow. Okay. I was assuming at some point it would zoom back to the top and it would make me rate some of my other games. So that's come to me as a bit of a surprise. But we are done. So wow. So what's it been? 3 hours, 23 minutes. So total time, 11 hours, about 11 and a half hours it's taken me. 11 and a half hours. Wow. So just before we go through the results, and you can actually see the results on screen, but just before we do, that's 11 and a half hours of my time that I've given up to create these streams. But it's been enjoyable. And obviously I've done today's stream and I'm still recovering from being ill. But I do this thanks to the support of the Patreon campaign. So a big thank you to all of you Patreon supporters that not only give me the financial ability to carry on doing what I'm doing, but give me the enthusiasm and everything else. That all comes from that. Because to be honest, if I didn't have the support of you over on the Slack channel and other means, I would have lost all motivation for doing this a long time ago. So yeah, so a big thank you to you for making these videos possible. And a big thank you again to everybody else who has supported me recently. Let's just see if we've had any more. Yeah, so we mentioned earlier on that since we started today, we've had Purple Dog, who's joined as a Patreon supporter. Aaron Throssell has also joined as a Patreon supporter. And Jarno Spijker. I probably pronounced that incorrectly. And I think you're in the chat. But yeah, we've had 3 new Patreon supporters since we started. So a big thank you to you for supporting me and believing in me. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing these videos regularly. These videos are way outperforming any other video that I do. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing these very often. In fact, I might never do these again. But just a few things before we go through the results. If you are in a position to be able to support me on Patreon, patreon.com/gaming rules. I'll put the link in the chat. There you go. And also, if you are not a member of my guild on Board Game Geek, please head over to Board Game Geek and join up. It's guild number 2258. Join, subscribe, and on there is a thread of what should I do when I get to 900 Patreon supporters. Now, with the 3 people that have joined today, we're currently at, I think it's 877. It was 875 this morning. Somebody left, so we were 874. So I think we're now at 877. So I don't know when we're going to get to 900. My normal rate of growth is about 5 a month. Now in the last month, it's gone crazy. It's been fantastic. So yeah, thank you very much. If this rate of growth continues, I will reach 900 Patreon supporters probably by March. But if it reverts back to the normal growth, it might be more like the summer or even the end of the year. And that would be great. But I'm looking for ideas of what to do when I get to 900 Patreon supporters. Right, okay, so, yeah, now, the website that I've used today is PubMeeple. And you can contribute to them. They have a tip jar, as you can see here. You can make PayPal donations to them. Lots and lots of people use their ranking engine. So if you do use it, if you do find it useful, certainly please make a contribution. I will be making a contribution myself because obviously I've used the system to create these videos, but I'll do that later on. Ranking your games looked good. The images you saw were provided by Board Game Geek. Yeah, Board Game Geek, obviously a website that most of us use in the hobby. And we can export this. So first of all, I'm going to export this as a CSV file. So that's done. So it's all saved. And now I need to look through to see if I agree with that or not. But we have a top 9. Now what I'm going to do is hopefully, if I click top 9, is it going to put me back to the results? So the top 9 images are what a lot of people do. And there's not really much surprise there, to be honest. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that image. So that is my top 10 games. Let's put it over here. Top 10 games. There you go. So there is my sorry, it's top 9. There's my top 10 games, top 9 games of all time. Mage Knight, no surprise. Spirit Island, no surprise. Maracaibo, no surprise. Great Western Trail, no surprise. Frosthaven, no surprise. It's interesting that Gloomhaven's not on there. Feast for Odin, Caverna, Through the Ages, Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth. Is anybody surprised by any of those? And are there any that you thought would be in the top 9 which are not in the top 9? So that's what I want to know from those people watching live, or from people who are watching this back afterwards. Which game in that top 9 did you not expect to be in there? And which game did you expect to be in there? I think a lot of people will assume that Gloomhaven should be in there. And to be honest, I'm surprised Gloomhaven is not in there. This isn't perfect, this system. But I'm curious to know what people think, what people are surprised is in there. I'm surprised Caverna is in there. Anyway, let's go back to... Oh, yeah, Star Wars Outer Rim. Yeah, why Star Wars Outer Rim not in the top 9, considering I kept choosing it? Again, it's not a perfect system, but I'm actually surprised. So let's have a look. So we got Mage Knight at number 1. There's no question about that. Spirit Island at number 2 and Maracaibo at number 3. Maracaibo, that's probably higher, to be honest, than I think it is. I'm not sure whether 3 is right for Maracaibo. It's definitely in my top 10. I don't know where it is. Through the Ages down at number 7. That's a little bit of a surprise. I think Through the Ages should probably be higher. Possibly 4 or 5. Because to be honest, Feast for Odin or Through the Ages, I don't think I got those comparisons. Well, I didn't get Through the Ages or Lord of the Rings Journeys to Middle-earth. Or did I? I'm not sure I did. Frosthaven at number 4. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, all of these games are just great. Spirit Island, Maracaibo, Feast for Odin. Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth is probably a little higher than I thought it would be. And Great Western Trail is possibly a little bit lower. Yeah, we'll have a look where Amon-Ra held up. And I'm gonna be able to look at the chat now. So if you've got any questions or comments for me, I now do have time to look at the chat. So we've got Marvel Champions and Arkham Horror the card game. They just outside the top 10. I thought they might have sneaked into the top 10. We have Carnegie at number 10, which surprises me a little bit. I knew Carnegie was going to be top 20. I didn't think it was going to be top 10. Again, this is not perfect. And what I could do at another time is I could take my top 50, put them into Pub Meeple and just do the top 50. And it would take about an hour and see how that comes out. That might be a future thing. We'll go to the bottom 9 in a minute. Yeah. Is it really saved? I've saved a CSV file. I have the CSV file on my thing. So we're all good. We're all good. So yeah, Star Wars Outer Rim at 13. Marrakesh and Acronym. So Assyria is the one that I kept saying was really good and I kept voting on it. I've not played Assyria in a very long time, but my memories of it are that it is an absolutely fantastic game. That is one that I would like to go back to, because if we were to look at all of these games here, the one that I've played the longest ago was Assyria. You know, some of these games I even played yesterday. Some of these games I'm playing right now. So yeah, so Assyria is one that I would need to go back to. I'm also a little surprised that Caelus 1303 is lower down, because would I prefer to play Caelus 1303 or Cloudspire? Probably Caelus 1303. Would I prefer to play Caelus 1303 or Underwater Cities? Probably Caelus 1303. So I think Caelus 1303, I would like to see that a little bit higher. Revive was not in the list. And I'm not sure why. Because every time Revive came up, I chose it. So I don't know where Revive and Lacrimosa are. Let's have a look. We have Trajan at 21. We have ISS Vanguard and Frostpunk. It's no surprise that they're there. We have Gentis, solid game. We have Lottery Varnak, Perseverance down at 26. Teotihuacan, Crown of Amara, Aura et Labora. Yeah, I don't need to read them all out, but you can see these. These are, so far, all of these games are great games. Really, really great games. Heat is quite high. Terraforming Mars down at 38. I mean, Terraforming Mars is not a top 10 game for me, but I would have thought it would be at least top 30. So to see Terraforming Mars down at 38, I feel a little sorry for it. And Rococo as well. I'm sure I was always voting on Rococo. But again, I don't know the algorithm. I don't know what it's doing in the background. So what did we want to know? We wanted to know where Revive was. Let's have a search for Revive. So Revive is down at 153. Now that's not fair and that's not right. So yeah, as I say, it's not a perfect system. It's been enjoyable to do, and I think it's got some of them right. But Revive being down at 153, I can tell you now, I much prefer Revive to Navegador, Brass Lancashire, Australia, Alhambra, Puerto Rico, Vindication, Miyabi, Tabanusi, Elysium, Hamburg, Furnace, Hansa Teutonica. Let's have a look where Revive should be. It's still going up, still going up, still going up. Yeah, Revive should be up here. So I don't quite know how Revive ended up all the way down there unless I pressed an incorrect button at one point. Yeah, so Revive should definitely be a lot higher than where it is. Bitoku at 91. That is too low. Bitoku should be higher. In fact, Just One and So Clover, I think I picked them every single time. Every single time they came out, I think I picked them. So I don't know where they are. So yeah, so Clover is down at 82. I don't quite know how this works. If anybody from Pub Meeple is watching this bit of the video, I am curious. I'm not criticising because it's a brilliant system and it's been a lot of fun to do. But I am curious as to how games that I kept selecting ended up, low down on the list. And if there is the results behind this of every single choice I made, if you're able to send me that would be fantastic. So that's where Revive is. Where is Just One? Just One is 59. See, Flamme Rouge 57. No, Flamme Rouge should be higher. Flamme Rouge should definitely be higher. Star Wars Destiny came in at 48. Right, shall we have a look down at the bottom of the list? I will post this export here. I will post it onto the Slack channel. So if you're a Patreon supporter of mine, you have access to the Slack channel, which is a private community discussion area. I normally, the way that I've got my Patreon set up is that if you become a Patreon supporter of mine, no money is actually taken from you until the 1st of the month. So anybody who has joined the Patreon in the last few days, you've become a Patreon supporter, but you haven't actually paid anything yet. Most content creators have the immediate payment on. I've never got round to doing that. I much prefer it that it takes the money on the 1st of the month. So what that means is that I haven't yet added you to the Slack channel because it hasn't taken any money from you. But anyway, on the Slack channel, I will post the spreadsheet later on so that you can see the full list of where we are. But anyway, let's go down to the bottom and see the absolute dregs. So right down at the bottom, we have Excalibur, which is a game I still have in the attic, and I spent years and years of my life trying to play that game. It is awful and unplayable, and I am curious to know if anybody's heard of it or got it or played it or anything like that. Okay? Lord of the Rings: The Nazgul is in the attic. It is a bad game, and I'm friends with the designer, so I hope he's not watching this. But it is not a good game. Munchkin, one of the worst games ever designed. Supremacy, Game of the Superpowers, one of the worst games ever designed. In fact, Shea Geek, not even a game. Dragon Strike, I don't know. Dragon Strike might be good. I played it when I was a kid, and it's still in the attic. Warrior Knights is I have such fond memories of Warrior Knights, and then it's just so random. Zombie Dice, yeah, waste of time. Rio de la Plata, told stories about that the other day. Illuminati, Flux, Hero Quest, Superpower. So it's a shame that Inner Bind is all the way down there. Inner Bind is a really fun card game designed by Stuff by Bez, where you have to put cards on yourself. You'll draw a card and it says, balance this on your elbow. And you balance it on your elbow. And you've got to keep it on your elbow. And then another card and it says, balance this on your eyebrow. And you balance this on your eyebrow. That's it, right? And it's a fun game and it works well. It's just not my kind of game. So that's why it's down there. I'm surprised it is below Shattered States. I'm also surprised that Elevator Eddie, that I really like and I think is a good game, is down at 565. When you've got games like Liege, Dobble, Spot It, Shave a Sheep above it. I would prefer to play Elevator Eddie more than pretty much any of these games that are on there.
But yeah, there's a lot of ones down here that are just not good games. But looking down the list, I mean, we're down to like the 400s. I mean, let's just go to the middle of the pack. So 300 is Industrial Waste. It's a good game. Troyes Dice. It's a good game. Bonanza. Good game. Yokohama Jewel. Good game. Splendor Jewel. Good game. And this is down to the 300s. And these are good games. And I was voting on these games. Dragon Castle is a really good game. And this is what's surprising me. I was expecting anything outside the top 100 or even anything outside the top 200 to be actually not a good game. Whereas we're down to the 300s and all of these games I want to keep. And all of these games I would be happy to play. In fact, if we just scroll down, we scroll down and we scroll down to the point of getting to a game which actually, I'm not that bothered about playing again. So here we go. Maybe Key to the City of London. Maybe Thunderstone Quest. You know, maybe Hallertau. Maybe Twilight Squabble. Something like that. But what that means is that the top 300 games in my collection are games which I'm happy with, I think are good games, I want to keep them. Yeah, so there you go. You know, part of me was thinking, why have I got so many games? Surely I should just pick my top 100 and keep those games and get rid of the rest of them. But there's no way I'm going to get rid of some of these games. No way. What was the other one that you wanted me to look up? 551 for Space Crusade. Yeah. Formula D solo, it says. I'm not a fan of Formula D. Yeah, I don't like Formula D. Space Race deserves a higher rank, possibly. I mean, I remember knocking it out a couple of times. What was the... am I going to burn the bottom 50? I'm certainly going to get rid of some of them. There are some games in there, Zombie Dice, Shea Geek, and things like that, that are just going to go. I have no reason for keeping them. And there's no point me having them in my collection. I'm never going to play them myself. I'm never going to take them anywhere. I just want to give them away to somebody. Yeah. Amiitis, 126. Yeah. Chris is in the chat. My top Vittel game. Well, I'm going to guess On Mars. And that's 55. I don't think there's another Vittel game higher than On Mars. And to be honest, I would have said On Mars probably should have been around top 50. As it is, I'm looking at the games that are above it, and I'm happy with those. Yeah. So, other thing that I want to mention just before we go, Hidden Gems, games which I think are great, games which most people have never heard of, because a lot of these are big, well-known games that everybody's heard of. But Assyria. So Assyria is my highest ranked game that I think most people have probably never heard of. Next. Crown of Amara. I don't think that's a big popular game, but it's really good. So yeah, Assyria, Crown of Amara, Nippon. Maybe Nippon's not there. Royal Palace. Royal Palace is the one that I keep banging on about. It is such a good game by the designer of Carnegie, and is very, very good. Now, would I put Royal Palace over Gloomhaven? No, I would not. But the algorithm has chosen Gloomhaven to be 2 spaces below Royal Palace. Other ones on here. Yeah, I'm surprised Star Wars Destiny came out that low. Via Nebula. I'm happy with Via Nebula where it is. Yeah, so I think it's just those two, really. Oh, and Stouffer Dynasty. Yeah, so Stouffer Dynasty, Golden Ages as well. So Golden Ages, Stouffer Dynasty. What was I saying? Assyria and Royal Palace. Yeah, I think they're all great games. And most people have never heard of them. 580 for Munchkin, yes. And the only reason I'm keeping Munchkin is because I was at Gen Con UK when it was in London in April 2003, when I was doing demo work for Steve Jackson Games, and I was demoing Munchkin and Xbugs when I met Vicky. And that's the only reason that I'm keeping it. Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective should be higher. Yes. It's 93. It probably should be higher. Probably should be top 50. Bitoku or Imperial Steam? That's a very good question. Bitoku ended up 91. I think that's personally too low. Would I prefer to play Bitoku over Attica? Yes. Nusfjord? Yes. Glenmore 2? Yes. Cuba? Yes. In fact, let's just go up. Where should Bitoku be? Right, yeah. All of these games, Bitoku, for me, is higher than all of these games. So I don't quite know how it's ended up down there. Right. I'm still going. I still haven't found a game that I would prefer to play other than Bitoku. And I'm still going. And I am still going. In fact, Russian Railroads is a bit low. Russian Railroads below Yokohama is wrong. It's definitely wrong. Oh, Vinyos of 43. So there you go. There's Vittel's highest game for me is Vinyos Deluxe Edition at 43. Even though I think On Mars is my favourite game of his. Imperial Steam is 39. So, yeah, something's wrong with it because Bitoku should definitely not be down there. Bitoku should be much, much higher. It should be top 30. It's better than that. 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 It's probably better than that. So yeah, Bitoku should actually be top 30. I don't quite know how it ended up down at 81. Amon-Ra at 63. I really rate Amon-Ra. Yeah, I think it's a really good game. I don't have the new one. I've got the original one. Where is Cloud Age? I don't expect Cloud Age to be that high. It's all right. I like it. It's 196. Yeah, that's all right. I'm happy with that. I thought it would be sort of 200, 300. As Vicky pointed out in part 1, the real reason you're keeping Munchkin is that it's hers and I can't sell it. Oh yeah, that's true. It is hers. I'd forgotten that. The copy of Munchkin that I have, I think, was a demo copy that we gave her and a sister for taking part in a demo. I think so. Something like that. Arc Nova 67. Yeah, you see, that's interesting. As I've said many times over the last 12 hours, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon with Arc Nova. It is a very good game, and I do enjoy it, but it is not the best game of all time. I think there's a lot of recency bias to people who say that. 67, when we have a look at these games that are above it, Sky Mines, yes. Kanban, yes. Madeira, yes. Amon-Ra, yes. So, yeah, probably Arc Nova should be around between the 50 and the 60 mark. But would I put Arc Nova above any of these? Possibly not. Here's a bit of a surprise. It's High Rise from Gil Hover. Now, there's a little bit of a story about this, is that Gil originally went onto Kickstarter with his game High Rise, and it wasn't doing well because it was really expensive and he had these 3D plastic skyscrapers and everything else. So he cancelled the project, and then he went back onto Kickstarter again with the same project, but with standees for the buildings, and it funded, and that's the version that I've got. And then, since that funded, he then went back to Kickstarter, now that the game has been produced, with a version where you could get the plastic standees. Unfortunately, COVID then happened, and Gil's ran into a lot of difficulties. So the game hasn't seen light of day yet. but I've got the original version of High Rise, and it is a very solid game. Now, the one thing that surprised me about High Rise is, and I know Gil's a really, really nice guy, one of the nicest guys that I've met, is a really great guy, is his previous games have been very sort of light, fluffy, and fun. And then High Rise is a very, very solid Euro game. So if you can get hold of a copy of High Rise, I really rate it. I think it's really, really good. Yeah. Brad says you were able to play test it. It is a brilliant game. It is really, really good. Pathfinder Adventure Card Game 207. Now that's lower than I think it deserves. Yeah, Pathfinder Adventure Card Game 207. But let's look at all of the ones that are around. I mean, Watergate 200. There's no way I would have thought Watergate was my 200th favourite game. I would have thought it would be top 100 at least. But yeah, we have Pathfinder Adventure Card Game. We have Codenames down at 205. Well, that's shocking. So yeah, we've got... Yeah, there's definitely some oddities with this list. But it's been fun. It's been fun to do. It's not accurate. It's not completely accurate. The top 9 is probably accurate-ish. If we want to be more accurate, then what I should do is I should take my top 100 games, or maybe my top 200 games, and do this again. And that will hopefully do it. But yeah, looking through this list, there's definitely certain ones that are out of place. Bitoku is massively out of place. And there's a few other ones that are massively out of place as well. Whereas top 20? Yeah, ish. Is mostly right. Yeah, it's mostly right. Anyway, we are all done. This has been one heck of a journey, and I wanted to do this around the summer. I had originally planned to do this in the summer of 2022. But the Patreon campaign for the first 6 months of last year wasn't doing particularly great. Every month I'd gain 20 new supporters and I'd lose 20 supporters. And then next month I'd gain 20 supporters and I'd lose 20 supporters. So in fact, the actual number of supporters that I had was hovering around the 800 mark at the start of the year, which is a fantastic number to have. That's not a problem. But I've been trying to work out exactly how I'm going to do this, whether I was going to use PubMeeple or I was going to use something else. Also, I didn't think it was going to take 12 hours, and I was also dreading it because I suffer from a lot of procrastination, indecisiveness, and having to make decisions live on camera. I will be honest with you, I put off doing this a number of times because I just thought it was going to be horrendous for me and it was going to be painful. I didn't realise they were going to be as much fun, and I didn't realise we were going to get as many people watching live. My live videos that I do, and I normally do about 2 to 3 live streams a week, normally get 20 to 30 people watching. These videos have had, we've got 150 people watching live now. I got 250 people for part 1. So I don't know why, but these videos have been my best performing videos that I've done. Maybe I should just do these videos from now on. Maybe I should stop playing games and actually just do these videos. No, I'm not going to. Most of the content on my channel is playthrough videos. And if you want to see any playthrough videos, they're all on the channel. Just remember, YouTube have changed the interface. So what you need to do is you need to go to the YouTube channel, and instead of clicking on the videos section, you need to click on the live section. And all of the live streams that I do, including this one, they're under the live section, not under the video section. Anything which isn't live is into the video section. So you effectively need to look at 2 places. They split them a few weeks ago, and it's caused no end of problems for creators like myself. Another thing, just before we disappear, as I mentioned earlier on, one of my videos that I released between Christmas and New Year, well, in fact, I released 2 videos. I did a top 10 games of 2022 video, which was voted on by my Patreon supporters, where I was joined by co-host Devon Norris from Devon Talks Tabletop. So that's on the channel now. If you want to see what my Patreon supporters favourite games of 2022 are, but me and Devon also add our own. But the big one is my top 10 games of 2021. Because I do my top 10 videos a lot later than everybody else, because I don't feel that doing them at the end of the year is fair, because I haven't played the games enough. Like, I'd only played Revive once at the end of 2022. So I have released recently my top 10 games of 2021, and that is on the channel now, and it wasn't a live video, but please go and watch it. Please leave me a comment, because you can win a copy of either Bitoku or Imperial Steam. All you need to do is just comment on the video. Watch the video. My top 10 games of 2021, that's on there now. As I mentioned, the video isn't performing that well, so any extra views would be great. And as mentioned at the start, I don't want the extra views to make more money, because all of my advertising revenue goes to charity. So yeah, all of the people that have been watching this video today, either live or if you're watching it back afterwards, all of that advertising revenue goes to charity. And the charity of this month has been chosen by Isaac Childress. And I need to get in contact with Isaac, and we need to arrange how we're going to send the money over. So yeah, that's where we are. We're all done. I'm absolutely exhausted. I am so hungry. It's scary. My stomach is in pain because I am so hungry. But yeah, we're all done. Thank you very much to everybody for watching. Keep me company. Somebody remind me on Slack tomorrow of all of the extra house rules that I need to add. And again, I'll post this Excel spreadsheet with the full list of them, so you can discuss it. But we're all done. I will see you all soon. Take care. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back next week with some more live streams. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.